turn my headphones up a little bit and we can go. Let's get it. North, west, south, east. Hey, call the state your name, you online with the G. North, west, south, east. Where you from? What's on your mind? What you know? What you think? North, west, south. Hey, it's all good on some things we just agree to disagree. North, west, south, east. Oh yeah, you're in the circle with the chief with true speech. Hey, what's on your mind? Hey, let's talk about it. What's going down in your town? Hey, let's talk about it. Rep your city, state, and side when we talk about it. Truthfully speaking, it's where everybody talking about it. Yeah, we worldwide when they talk about us. Inspiring, changing lives when they talk about us. Special guests, open panel, all type of topics, changing information, free your mind, iron sharpen iron. Yeah, we online with the check-in. You better know we outside with the check-in. Man, we going worldwide with the check-in. Like, share, subscribe when the Chiefs about to check in. Yeah, it's going down. Check in. Sharing knowledge of the mind when we check in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You check in, hit the bell, get notified when the Chiefs about to check in. Yeah. This is how it's going down, man. This is the new wave of internet radio, podcasting. Yeah, truthfully speaking, Chief Cali. Yeah, check in. One time for your host checking in. Yeah, the one and only Chief Cali. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Halito, tribe, what's happening with you? Check this out, man. Tonight, I just let me start this off by letting you guys know that this show may be a trigger warning show for some people. So let me put that out there ahead of time. This show may be a trigger warning show for some people, as we will be dealing with the topic of sexual abuse and things of the sort. Okay, child harming, things of the sort. So I do want to put that out there right now. This show may be a trigger warning for some people. So if you are someone who's maybe experienced sexual assault or have been through something traumatic of the sorts, this may be a trigger warning show for you. Shout out to ex-pastor Eli Taylor, who will be joining the panel in a little bit. Backstage, I got my brother right here. The minister of information. We're going to tap into some things tonight. Eli, if you're ready to join the panel, you can join the panel. I just wanted to start a little early because I got a video I want to show that's going to go into what we're talking about. Okay. So, shout out to Sierra checking in. If you're a believer, if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, Tip, what's up? What's up with you? If you're a believer, you follow the Bible. I would ask if you have time to just stick around and just give us an ear. Okay. Just give us an ear. I have some guests who will be joining the panel. Okay. And, just give us an ear because I want you to be able to understand why some of us who don't follow the Bible, most hated, what's happening with you? Who don't follow the Bible, you'll find out some of the reasons why we don't, okay? Or why we choose not to. As many of you know, I want to give you a backstory for this show. As some of you may know, recently, I was in a situation where there was I encountered a guy. My name was attached to a guy who is a sex offender. Okay. I don't want to bring his name up, and I don't want to, I really kind of want this to be an educational show right here. My name was attached to someone who is a registered sex offender. Okay. Recently he came into some spaces that I'm normally in, that I like, some sisters that I know. Uh, and let me get some moderators in here because I got a feeling uh this can this can turn out to be some. Okay, I'll do it in a second. I'll do it in a second when I crank the show up. Dewanda, can you please keep an eye on the chat? If you see any bullshit come in the chat tonight, if you have a wrench, if you see any bullshit come in the chat tonight while we're trying to have this show, please get them out of here, quick, quick. If I don't catch them, okay. Peace, OG Halito, um, Empress Halito. So my name was attached to this sex offender just due to association of me being associated with someone else. And many of you know one thing I always say is be careful who you stand too close to. Just please be careful because people will let you down every time. People will let you down every time. Damn right, OG. I'm still anti everything. I'm anti everything. If it doesn't help to better us, I'm anti everything. Okay. Well, with that being said, it kind of hurt my heart that I kind of, and I won't say it was a strong attack, but when I spoke up on this guy, uh when I spoke up on this guy, I kind of got attacked by people who call themselves believers or Christians. They told me I was being messy. They told me I was being messy because I was calling out what I felt, you know, what I felt in my heart was a little hypocrisy, you know, on watching someone call out one predator while another predator comes into the same space comfortable. Um, Nas, the rapper Nas, baby mom, Carmen, she made a post that said, let me tell you what the quote said. The quote said this. Let me get to it real quick. I just want to tell y'all what the quote said. Her quote read as such: these days, people don't defend what's right, they defend who they like. And this is why we call you groupie. This is what the rapper Nas baby mom said in one of her quotes recently. These days, people don't defend what is right, they defend who they like. Okay? So, in this situation where my name was attached to this guy, and then he started coming into the spaces that he started coming into the spaces where I was at. I didn't agree. I actually saw this guy's paperwork, black and white paperwork, and I couldn't. Whoa, 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 whoa. Well, when I mentioned this, you know, when I mentioned this night in the chat, I kind of got attacked by people who call themselves believers or Christians, and they follow the Bible. And some of the things they said was I was being messy. Who cares? His story's been out there, and he's done his time. We should let it go. We shouldn't be bringing it up, is what I was told. I had to self-check myself, right? And I had to remove myself from those spaces, not because I have any beef with the people who run the spaces. I don't want my name ever attached to anybody who harms children. And y'all know over here, when we say hashtag PTC, it's been that. It's been that. It's been that. Okay. We stand on that over here. We don't condone uh child harmers in our spaces over here. The internet is a playground for child harmers. All right. This is definitely a place that child harmers come to play. This is why you have shows like How to Catch a Predator. You feel what I'm saying? Where they set people up on the internet because these child harmers prey on the internet. They're behind the scenes. They'll get in your DMs, and then what happens is they befriend you to get close to your children, or they're in spaces of children posing as children, or maybe they got a little money or something, and they're in spaces bribing our youth, our children. Okay, I don't stand with any of that. I don't stand for none of that. Well, these people were saying, well, God forgave him. When we deal with the believers, it just, when they get to talking for God, it that drives me crazy. They can tell you everything God said. Now, I just found it very interesting that God could save this guy and change this guy's life that they like, but not the guy that they're attacking. Like, they're attacking a whole nother person. I didn't like that. I don't stand with that. I don't have no problem with the people who run the spaces. I just felt it was hypocrisy in my eyes. And this is not me throwing shot or shades at my sisters. I rock with my sisters, and I tried to protect them. I wanted to protect them for what I saw was coming. Well, the video I'm about to play right now, I want to start this off with this video. This may be a trigger. Once again, this topic may be a trigger. The reason I ask some of you believers to hang around and just give us an ear. Just give us an ear. Those of us who don't follow religion, or, who have woken up from religion, just give us an ear. This is no bash against religion. I just want you to get a perspective of what we see on our side. Also, I seen someone make a comment in a chat that said, basically, the people who don't believe in God or people who don't follow religion are evil people. And I asked my brother Eli Taylor to bring some information to the table so we can examine that and see how true that statement is. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to start this off with this video, and then I'll come back and explain to you why I wanted to play this video. So give me about 15 minutes and we're going to hear what this video is all about, and we'll come back. All right. So let me get it up on the screen. I want you guys to listen in depth to what happens in this story. All right. Once again, I got my brother, Minister Information, joining us, man, and I appreciate that brother stepping in, man. That brother's a very knowledgeable brother. Go check his channel out, Minister of Information on YouTube. All right. Also, I believe I have Neo X coming to join the panel. Ex-Pastor Eli Taylor will be joining the panel. And I sent the invite out for Chris Harris to join. I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but I would love that brother to make it too, if possible. So let's start this video, and I'll come back after the video. All right.
Gregory Green had a domestic dispute with his wife and decided that murder was the only way he could solve his problems. Turns out that this was not the first time he chose to annihilate his family. This is Monsters. This is the final episode of Season 4, and I'm planning to take a little break from doing another themed season. Working on episodes that fit into a theme actually creates a little more work, and I want to spend some extra time going through all of the suggestions I've gotten and see which cases I can cover and which suggestions fit into future themes. I also have irons and a couple other fires that I think you guys will really enjoy when those projects are done. I will still be releasing 2 episodes a week every Monday and Thursday. They just won't be a theme. Technically, Season 5's theme is just going to be random. I still need to label these episodes as a season so they stay in order for the podcast. Then I'll be back this spring with a season about serial killers. I've been compiling a list of some really good serial killer stories that haven't been covered to death, pun intended. I also want to get through all of the suggestions to make sure there aren't any that I missed. I've noticed some comments assuming that I would eventually cover the Chris Watts case in this season, and I just don't think there's anything I can add to that case. I like to tell stories of cases that I find interesting, and the true crime genre has just been so oversaturated with Chris Watts stories, I just can't bring myself to be interested in working on a story about him. I also like to try to dig deep and find extra details that aren't usually included in other stories, and I just don't think I can do that with the Watts case. I feel the same way about Ted Bundy, so you can rest assured that he won't be in the serial killer season. I've done episodes on some more well-known cases, but the amount of stuff that's out there on Chris Watts and Ted Bundy is just over the top. I don't think we need any more. So if you were hoping that either of those cases would be covered by me, it probably isn't going to happen. But don't worry, I've got a big list of other douchebags coming your way, starting right now. This episode is short because there's not a lot of details about the people involved in this case. I saved this one for the end because I kept trying to dig up more background information, but it's just not there. It's an interesting case though, so I really wanted to do an episode for it, so I thought I'd do a little bonus episode on a Thursday to close out the season. Thanks to everyone for watching and or listening. On July 14th, 1991, Gregory Green got into an altercation with his wife, Tanya Green, and stabbed her repeatedly in the face and chest. Then he put the murder weapon in the refrigerator before he called 911. He told the operator that he had stabbed his wife and went out onto the front porch and waited for police to arrive. When they did, Tanya was rushed to Grace Hospital where she died from her injuries. She was not the only life that Gregory took that day, though. Tanya was 6 months pregnant at the time, and the baby also died. Gregory and Tanya got married in July of 1989. Tanya had a daughter from a previous relationship, and there was a second daughter living with them at the time, but it's not clear if she was Gregory's child or not. Neither of those children were harmed by Gregory during the attack on his first wife. A friend said in an interview that Tanya had told her that Gregory had changed. She said it was like the flip of a switch, and he became a different person. The last time the friend talked to Tanya, she said she was going to go home and pack her stuff to leave Gregory. It seemed that that may have been the catalyst for the argument. Gregory surrendered to police without incident and showed officers where the murder weapon was. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 15 to 25 years in prison. It was a second-degree murder charge because it wasn't a premeditated attack. They had an argument, and in a fit of rage, he murdered his wife. Unfortunately, our prison system is set up so a minimum sentence is not a minimum sentence. Gregory's minimum sentence was 15 years, but he became eligible for parole in 2004. He was denied parole twice that year and twice in 2006. The parole board wrote that Gregory showed little emotion or remorse and showed a lack of empathy. During his incarceration for the murder of Tanya, Gregory gained the support of a pastor from the church he used to attend, Fred Harris. Fred had written to the parole board multiple times claiming that Gregory had paid for his crime and should be released. In a letter dated August 17, 2005, he wrote, quote, "Gregory and I were friends before his mishap and he was incarcerated. I feel that he paid for his unfortunate lack of self-control and the damage he has caused as much as possible and is sorry. This will not restore the lives that were taken. He will carry that with him for the rest of his life." End quote. I'm sorry, but I have a problem with someone labeling the brutal stabbing of a young pregnant woman as a mishap. But otherwise, I understand his intentions. The following year, Fred wrote, quote, "I've noticed a great deal of growth, and his understanding has matured quite a bit as well as his processing skills. If he was to be released, he would be welcomed as part of our church community, and whatever we could do to help him adjust, we would." End quote. In 2008, Gregory's prison record was virtually spotless, and he showed no violence while incarcerated. He followed the rules and stayed out of trouble. His report read that he was respectful to staff and other prisoners. He had completed multiple educational programs and had a plan for employment once he was released. His record, along with the support of Fred Harris, got him approved for parole in 2008, and he was discharged on April 29, 2010. Prison records show that Gregory had earned enough time off for good behavior that he would have been released in 2012 if his parole hadn't been approved. Once out of prison, Gregory remained an active member of the Church of the Risen Christ Ministries International in Detroit, where Fred was the pastor. He began working at the Detroit Metro Airport. Fred's daughter, Faith Harris, also attended the church, but it's not clear if she knew Gregory before his prison sentence or not. Faith had been married previously to a man named Chadney Allen Sr., and they had 2 children together. Chadney Allen Jr. was born August 7, 1997, and Kara Allen was born on April 25, 2000. By the time that Gregory was released from prison, Faith had divorced Chadney and started dating Gregory. The two got married on December 18, 2010, and went on to have 2 daughters together. Coy Green was actually born a few months before the wedding, on October 28, 2010, and Kaylee Green was born on September 4, 2012. It wasn't long after that trouble started brewing in the marriage. Faith had filed an order of protection against Gregory in Wayne County Circuit Court in February of 2013. The order was denied because she didn't cite any instances of physical assault. She described that he, quote, jumped at me like he was going to attack me. This went on for hours, end quote. She also said he was being belligerent and kicking things. She then filed for divorce in October of 2013, but it seems the couple reconciled. The relationship continued to be rocky, and Faith filed for divorce again in August of 2016. She cited a breakdown in the marriage relationship. We know now that Gregory doesn't like it when someone plans to divorce him. Just like with Tanya in 1991, Gregory became so enraged at the idea of his wife divorcing him that he went on a killing rampage. This one, though, he planned in advance. A week before the murder, Gregory went to Home Depot and picked up some supplies that he used to reroute the exhaust from his car so it would fill the interior of the vehicle. In the early morning hours of September 21, 2016, Gregory took his 2 daughters, Coy and Kaylee, and put them in the car. He ran the car and allowed it to fill up with exhaust, essentially suffocating the young girls with carbon monoxide. He then carried the girls back into the house and placed them into their beds. Gregory then grabbed Faith and pulled her into the basement. She was duct taped to a chair, and Gregory used a box knife to slash both sides of her face, and then he shot her in the foot. He forced her to watch as he brought both Chadney Jr. and Kara in front of her and shot them both in the head. Chadney Jr. had recently graduated from the Specs Howard School of Broadcasting with a certificate in digital media arts. He wanted to eventually become a movie producer. Kara was about to graduate from high school. She was an honor student and a cheerleader who wanted to become a doctor. Coy, who they called Princess Coy, loved to dress up, have her hair done, and be the center of attention, while Kaylee enjoyed playing in the water, ballet, and singing. Just like his 1991 murder, Gregory called 911, told the operator what he had done, and then sat on the front porch waiting for the police. Gregory was evaluated by a psychiatrist to determine if he was competent to stand trial. The psychiatrist reported that Gregory was not suffering from any mental illness that would prevent him from being tried for his crimes. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count each of assault with intent to do great bodily harm, unlawful imprisonment, and felonious assault as a felon in possession of a firearm. Gregory Green took a plea deal where he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count each of torture, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, and felony firearm possession. I feel like offering someone a plea deal with a reduced charge should only be used if the state believes they might not win at trial. In a clear-cut case where there's no doubt in who committed the crime, they shouldn't be offering them a deal. You either plead to these charges and save some time, or you go to trial and you get found guilty anyway. At his sentencing hearing, Faith had managed to recover enough from her wounds to take the stand, and she had some choice words for her ex-husband.
I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied with the outcome. There's no punishment that fits the crime. Not even torture and death would be justice. Your justice will come when you burn in hell for all eternity for murdering 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure as a man. Plus the other 2 lives you took. You are a con artist, you are a monster, you are a devil in disguise. You are now forever exposed. I've thought over and over again what I would say, even though it doesn't even matter. First of all, I am not and did not and will not suffer like you intended for me to do. What you tried to do didn't work.
Faith suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and short-term memory loss. She also has nerve damage in her face and foot that cause her constant pain. It doesn't compare to the pain of losing not a child, but 4 children, something that will affect her for the rest of her life.
All I ever wanted to be was a mother, a wife, have a happy family, raise my children to be productive members of society, and be happy. The reality I face now is this will never happen for me. Time will never heal this wound. I will always be empty. A part of me will always be missing. If the day ever comes when I do wake up and it's not the first thing that I think about, when I look in the mirror, I will always be reminded by the scars he put on my face, cutting me from my ears to my chin with a razor blade box cutter. There's a hole in my heart and soul that can never be repaired. The loss to me is so big that I will never truly recover for the rest of my life. I will be forever in pain and heartbreak. This wound will never heal. This wound will never heal.
During the sentencing hearing, Gregory was given the opportunity to speak on his own behalf.
I do regret and I'm sorry for what has happened. All I've ever wanted was a God-fearing helpmate that would support me and be faithful no matter what. We're dedicated to the whole family. That put aside, I have to be humble, very humble, because God knows the heart. He knows how regretful, how sorry I am. And even now, after all this, he still has a plan. And I'm not giving that up, giving up on that plan. It's God. God is God. And there's not one day that go by that I don't think of my girls. Not one day, often picturing them playing, talking to their Heavenly Father. And, I pray that God be with Chad and Karen. I feel bad for how this has deeply impacted everyone. And may God help them, help me, help us all. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
He gives the most emotionless, monotone apology I've ever heard before he rambles about God. God has a plan. His plan was for you to murder your first wife and your unborn baby, then for you to get out of prison and murder 4 other children and torture your second wife. God's terrible at planning. Then he goes on to talk about how he thinks about the kids every day. Bullshit. If Gregory Green was the type of person who thought about his victims every day, he would have thought about his first wife and the baby he killed in 1991 before he carried out this act. He's pretending to have remorse so that he can try to get out on parole again someday. Unfortunately, his plea deal made it so he would be eligible for parole. Now, the judge could have denied the plea deal and taken the case to trial, but she explains why she doesn't do that.
As a practical matter, this court is confident that if I follow the sentence agreement in this case, you will never be released from prison. And rather than decide to, in the event I were to say, nope, this isn't enough, the family would be forced to take this to trial, and I don't want Ms. Green to ever have to endure what happened again. She already has to live with it every day. So for that reason, I'm going to follow the sentence agreement. I'm convinced that you will be incarcerated for the remainder of your life.
Thank you!
Hold on. That's practically speaking. With respect to counts 1 through 5, as I said, I am going to follow the sentence agreement. You're going to be sentenced to 45 to 100 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. Count 6 to 10 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections. All will be consecutive or concurrent with one another and consecutive to count 10 for the felony firearm, which will be 2 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections.
I agree with her that it's pretty unlikely that Gregory will ever get released on parole. It's probably not worth putting Faith through a trial in order to give him life without parole. He was sentenced to 45 to 100 years in prison for the murders, plus 2 years for the gun charge. He'll be 97 years old before he's eligible for parole, which, again, I don't think he's gonna get. This is from Alan. If you're the victim of domestic abuse, please reach out to someone for help. please talk to your local battered women's shelter or call the National Domestic Abuse Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. Or you can go to thehotline.org to chat with someone online. The great thing about this website is that at any time, hitting the escape key twice will take you to a Google search page. That way, if your abuser is nearby, you won't get caught looking for help. If you're having feelings of harming yourself or someone else, or even just need someone to talk to, please contact your local mental health facility, call 911, or call Mental Health America, who operate the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will talk to you about any mental health issue you might be facing. Thanks so much for watching this video. You can help us out by hitting the like button.
So there are some resources for anybody who may be dealing with these type of issues. Empress, I really like your comment here. Now, for those of you who do believe in the Bible, this is how some of us feel, with when it comes to that Bible. People kill me always calling out the name of God for what they just don't get. God and the devil is the same. Simply put, evil. I call it two faces of a person personally. You know, this is something I know is kind of hard to hear when you hear people speak like this from their perspective or their interpretation of this Bible that we've been taught, and we've been taught since we were kids to follow. A lot of the things we're going to see today, for those of you who are believers, and shout out to those of you who are checking in. I seen some of y'all check in. Harrington, what's up? Shout out to Harrington checking in. Nonya, what's happening? Lynn, what's happening? Lori, Rodney, Janae, what's happening? Just want to try to give y'all a little shout out. I be trying to remember that. The real chef, what's happening? Check this out. Something I want to show y'all. Just let me pull this up right quick, and then I'm gonna bring the minister in. I want to read some things to y'all, and I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Okay. I want to read, because a lot of y'all who claim y'all love this Bible, a lot of y'all who claim y'all like y'all all are about this religion. Okay. When I talk to a lot of y'all don't even know some of the stuff that's in this book. So with that being said, I just want to give you a quick run through of some things that's in this book. And I want y'all to see some things that deal with children inside of this Bible that you follow. Okay. For some of us, for me, this was just some things I couldn't rock with. I couldn't rock with when it comes to this Bible. So I'm just going to do a quick run through of a few verses. I'm going to read them to you. All right. This picture right here says, and please, this is no way, this is in no way, I'm not trying to bash your religion. There's just some things I want to bring to the light for some of you believers who say Jelante, what's up? What's happening, my brother? Some of you people who say you believe in this book and you use it as your moral compass. So I just want to show you some reasons that some of us choose not to use this book for our moral compass or to live in fear of. Okay, so let me run some things down to you right quick. I just want to show you a few verses from this book that I can't rock with. This isn't a verse. This is not a verse. But this picture says, if you could stop someone from raping a child, would you? I know I would. I definitely would. I definitely would. At the bottom of this picture, it goes on to say, if you answered yes, you are more moral than your God. All right. Now, I'll just leave that there and you can interpret that how you choose to interpret that. In Genesis 19:8, there's a verse that says, "Look, I have two daughters who have never slept with a man. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do what you like with them." Now, for me, I have to ask the question, how old are these little girls that you offering up? These little girls, these daughters of yours who have never slept with a man, I have to ask the question, how old are these little girls that you are offering up that has never slept with a man? What's the age on these girls? Are they adults? That's in the Bible. That's in the Bible. All right. Let's keep going. There's only a few of them. Here's another verse. Now, I want you to listen to this. In Numbers 31:17-18, this verse says, "Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man by lying with him. But all the women children, that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves." Kill everybody else. Kill everybody else. But make sure those women children, how old are these women children? Women children. This is in the book. This is in this book. Okay, I'm going to keep going. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Well, what are you going to do with these women children that have not known a man by lying with him? What are you planning on doing with these women children? Women children. Yeah. All right. So this is in the Bible. These are things that I just found despicable, and I couldn't rock with. All right, let's keep going now. Now we just seen a few minutes ago. That they said do what? Hey, I got two daughters who have never been with a man. Let me give them to you, and you do what you want to do with my two daughters who have never been with a man. How old are these two girls? All right. Here's another verse. Deuteronomy 21:18-21. I just want you to see how children are treated in this book. Children. I want you to see how children in this book are treated. "If a man have a stubborn or rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother." Many of us have disobeyed our mothers and fathers, okay? Many of us, okay? It says, all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. Stone that child, that child die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Now I'm gonna let the experts deal with some of these verses when they come on the panel. I'm just telling you through my interpretation of seeing these verses in this book. And this is what I'm telling y'all. A lot of y'all who claim to be Christians and believers, y'all don't even know these verses exist in this book, because you're only going off of the things your preacher preaches to you. And you don't go into this book on your own, and you don't, get your own interpretation of this book. Although the book is telling you you're not supposed to get your own interpretation. Okay. Leviticus 26:27-29 says, "But if despite this you disobey me, I in turn will punish you myself sevenfold for your sins. You shall eat the flesh of your sons, and you shall eat the flesh of your daughters. Yo, that's kind of, that's kind of deep right there. That's kind of deep. That's a hell of a punishment. Because what did the children have to do with anything? That's kind of deep to me. Like, I'm just trying to show you a few verses that's in your Bible that when I bring these up to y'all, a lot of y'all don't even be knowing these verses exist in this book. Whether it's Old Testament or whether it's New Testament, a lot of y'all just don't even know they exist in the book for you to even feel however you're going to feel about it yourself. All right. Here's another verse that says, then in my anger will I be hostile towards you, and I myself will punish you for the sins 7 times over. This is pretty much the same verse, just worded different. You will eat the flesh of your sons and eat the flesh of your daughter. It's pretty much the same verse, just worded a little different. Now, here's another one that I found to be very interesting. The owner of the house went outside and said, and I'll let the experts explain what these verses are, okay? Ivan, what's happening with you? Peace. I'll let more minister and some of my guests, I'll let them go more into what these verses were dealing with during this time. But one thing we do know is they're dealing with children. Children. The owner of the house went outside and said to them, no, my friends, don't be so vile. Since this man is my guest, don't do this outrageous thing. Look, here is my virgin daughter. Look, here is my virgin daughter and his concubine, and I will bring them out to you now, and you can use them and do to them whatever you wish. Now, this is being told to a mob, and I'll let the experts, go more into this, but this is being told to a mob of people who are trying to get at a stranger who ran into this house or whatever, but the man doesn't want the mob to hurt the stranger in the house. So he decides, I don't want you to hurt this stranger, but I'm going to offer you, the mob, I'm going to offer you my virgin daughter. How old is your virgin daughter, sir? And why would you do a thing like that? Why would you want to offer your daughter? Now, you see at the bottom of the screen, it says hashtag PTC protect the children, hashtag PTWC protect the women and children. Well, here's another reason why. And not only did he offer his virgin daughter, he also offered his concubine. He offered this woman up so that the mob can use them and do whatever they wish to them. But as for this man, this stranger in my house, please don't touch him. Yo, that's deep. That's very interesting. I just kind of want y'all, this is why I asked y'all to just kind of bear with me, man, so we can kind of show y'all some of the things that we don't like in this Bible, and we don't like to follow it for our moral compass, for morality or to fear. This verse, I think I read this already. This is just said a different way. Now, Numbers 31, 17 through 18. Now, kill all the boys and kill every woman who has slept with a man, but save for yourselves every girl who has never slept with a man. Well, how old is these girls that you're saving for yourself? You see what I'm saying? So when people were coming at me saying, he's done his time and God forgives and this and that about, they get to speaking for God. I'm showing you sometimes how God speaks on children and how he deals with children. Okay, I don't even think I put in here the verse about bashing the baby's heads against the rocks and all of that. I don't even think I put that in here. But there's many verses. All right, I want to read this one to you real quick, and I'm gonna get the minister in here. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children. Now, this is dealing with God. Like, I'll let you read it. I just want y'all to see how children are dealt with within this Bible and why some of us don't rock with this Bible. And we just don't. Like, we just don't. And as he was going up, by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and they mocked him and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head. Go up, thou bald head. They're making fun of a man who's got a bald head. You know, they're doing what children do. Hey, baldy, go up. And he turned back and he looked at them and he cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the woods, and they tear 42 children of them. Got towed up for making fun of a bald-headed man, just being kids, doing what kids do. They got ate up by bears. Jeremiah 19:9 says, I will make them eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. Yo, this is how children are dealt with in this book. You know, let me keep going. We also have incest in this book. You feel what I'm saying? So both of Lot's daughters became pregnant by their father. You see why some of us just don't deal with child harmers? And when you believers come at us and you're telling us about this, your God, and you're telling us about your Bible, and you're telling us about your forgiveness, you know, this kind of makes sense when it comes to religion, when it comes to people who believe in religion. This is why many of us don't use this book for our moral compass, because this book has a lot of sick shit in it. Whether you want to hear it or not, this book has a lot of sickness in it. Let's keep going. This verse says, if a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married, and he rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her as long as he lives. So the Bible is telling you, yo, come on, man. You got to marry your rapist. Imagine being SA'd, and after being SA'd, if you didn't get caught, all you got to do is pay the person you SA'd, pay the father 50 shekels, and you good. Never mind that you violated this child or this woman, or never mind. Remember, it's hashtag PTC, protect the children, hashtag PTC, hashtag PTWC, protect the women and the children. All right, so some of this can fall in place with women, and some of it can fall in place with children. Okay, I'm trying to get through it, y'all, so we can get the minister up here. I'm just trying to read these verses. Let me go back to this one. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, the daughter of Leah had borne to Jacob, went out to visit the woman of the land. I don't know how to say this name. When Shanaim, son of Hamor, the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and he violated her. He took her. So this is why some of us just choose not to rock with this book for our moral compass. And when I mention some of these verses to some of you so-called believers, and I just ask y'all, how do y'all feel about these things that were going on during this time. How do y'all feel about these verses? Many of you don't even know these verses exist. And this is why I'm putting them on the screen. This is just why I'm putting them on the screen. Here's the same verse again. Kill every woman who has known a man by sleeping with him. But all the young girls who have not known a man, keep them alive for yourself. Okay? An old man invited a man traveling through the town to stay in his house for the night. Later, some men banged on the door and wanted the visitor so they could have sex with him. Some men banged on the door and wanted the visitor so they could have sex with him. Some men wanted to have sex with another man. All right? The old man offered them his virgin daughter and his concubine instead of the visitor. Yeah, this is in your book. Finally, they took his concubine, and what did they do to the concubine? Protect the women and children. Hashtag PTWC. This is why I was so triggered when this guy came into the spaces and people got to speaking for God, and these Christians got to attacking me, because they're Christians and they believe in their Bible, and this stuff is in your Bible. This stuff is in your Bible, all right? And this is why I don't rock with your Bible. And this is why people make excuses. People make excuses. And here's that verse again. All right? Here's that verse one more time. Elisha turned around, glared at them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 she-bears came out of the woods and tore 42 of the boys to pieces. You guys, I would like to bring my brother, the Minister of Information, to the table. And I would like to get his thoughts on some of these things. We're going to touch a few things tonight. Again, I just wanted some of you believers to hang around, because I want you to understand why some of us choose not to use this book for our moral standards. And I know to see this, it can bother some of you. It can trigger some of you, but I'm not going to lie to you. I just want to show you what's in your book that many of you don't even be knowing what's in there when I talk to you about it. So there's some other things we're going to address, but I want to bring the minister to the table and just get his thoughts on some things. As we bring the minister in, like I said, my heart was hurt, to see that. I felt like I was standing up for our children. I was standing up against the evils of this world. And I turned around and pretty much got attacked. I was getting attacked. I was being called messy simply because the information is already out there. Well, the way I feel, I think the information should always be brought up. Always. Like, people should always be made aware of child harmers. Always. It should never be comfortable for a child harmer. And I wanted to show y'all that video because this brother got released out of prison after violating a woman, and a pastor came forward to speak on his behalf. A pastor came forward and spoke for God. And the pastor said, I believe he's done his time. The pastor came forward and said, if you allow him to come out into society again, he'll be a member of my church. I'll bring him in as a member of my church. These were the same things people were saying to me in that chat. He's done his time. Let him, let him live. You know, for me, that was interesting. That was interesting. And I think with a lot of when we deal with mental health in our community, mental health is very big. Mental illness is very big. And a lot of this comes from a lot of our women and children being violated and people sweeping things under the rug and turning blind eyes to things. You feel what I'm saying? People think because the person they violated, the child they violated, are cool with them now, that we should overlook that. There's a such thing called Stockholm syndrome. You feel what I'm saying? There's a such thing where people who have been violated by their violator ends up becoming cool with their violator or forgiving them, and they're sitting right at your dinner table at Thanksgiving. Things like that. Um, so with that being said, I got my brother Minister of Information here. I want to thank you for joining. Brother, give me your thoughts on, what we've heard in some of these Bible verses.
Well, here's what we got to do, brother. First of all, peace and light to the chat. I've been off the radar here for a little while, just reconstructing some other stuff going into the new year, the age of 9. That's 2 and 2 and 5. That's 9. Going into the age of 9, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of shifting, a lot of things that's going to be happening next year. So peace and love. If you want to follow Minister Information over on YouTube, thanks.
Definitely follow this brother.
You know, we've been
Definitely
tapped in and
yes,
rocking for
yes,
a minute now. But I want to take this position right here. You got to, I'm a little tired, but you got to, I would take this position right here, bro. Because about a month ago, well, yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
Come on, Neil.
My entire perspective has been changed and shifted. And I'm gonna bring up a clip of this brother who he's based out of Atlanta. You can do that share screen for me.
I got you.
He's based out of Atlanta. This is Pastor Paul Mitchell.
Okay.
Anthony Mitchell. Listening to this brother, man, for the past 3 or 4 weeks shifted my whole perspective. Okay. To where I myself have got delivered from a lot of inequities, I should say. And when you go through something that's an iniquity, that's a perpetual thing that you do.
Minister, let me interrupt you real quick. I'm sorry, brother. I see somebody in the chat that I wanted to drop the link for this brother. Big Dog Philly OG. I want to drop the link for you. Because I've been wanting to get you on this panel when we deal with these type of topics. If you're free, if not, don't worry about it. We'll do something else. But I've been wanting to get you on a panel. Also joining the panel right now is my sister Neo X. Y'all know my sister Neo X. I invited her to this show also. I'm gonna let you get back to. Thank you, Neo, for joining the show. You kind of know what we're dealing with this topic, and I'm gonna let you go. But there you go, Minister. You got it.
Okay, appreciate it. But an iniquity is a perpetual thing that happens that people do. Okay. And I heard you reference a few times your intro of why you don't deal with the scriptures, why you don't deal with the Bible and religion, etc., so on and so forth. But everybody's going to watch this later, and everybody in the chat, to all my Moorish brothers and sisters, peace and love. To all of the Hebrew Israelite community, peace and love. To all my Christians, peace and love. Muslims, everybody, peace and love to everybody, regardless of what you choose to rock with. Just going to remind you of what the Prophet Noble Jew Ali said. He said, do not throw away your Bibles. I'm going to teach you how to use it to condemn the Europeans. We have to understand that Christianity and the church, we must return back to the Europeans. It was created for their salvation, but we're going to hold on to Jesus in the Bible because that's our book, our book, us, our book. They can't read or write. Okay. They never had a language. That's our book. And I want to put a couple of things into context because when you're going through the scripture, you have to understand, you have to put everything into context.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why I said I was going to let
You were
y'all
talking
do
about,
that. Yeah.
hold on. You were referencing the scene with Job, and when Job was confronted with the people in Sodom and Gomorrah at his front door, they were asking to turn over the angelic beings that had visited Job. It was 3 angelic beings who had encountered Abraham. 1 stayed and had a conversation with Abraham. 2 went into the city of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Lord had a conversation with Abraham by asking, can you go down there and get me a couple people who are without sin? And Abraham couldn't come up with nobody. This is what's happening in America. So let me fill my cup for a minute, because it's somebody in the chat and somebody gonna hear this later that needs to hear this. Now, for those of y'all who don't rock with the Bible, don't rock with the scriptures, and don't like, hey man, listen, I don't have a heaven to put y'all in. That's on y'all. That's cool. I'm not here to convert or save nobody. I'm here to plant a seed, because what we can't do with our subconscious, once you hear it, you heard it. Okay. The city of Sodom and Gomorrah was so perverted. It was vexed with what's called a Jezebel spirit. Okay. Much like the conversation, the topic of the day, protecting children. This is a spirit. Now, I'm going to show you some stuff in this book that you can use, because what you cannot do is you can't convince somebody of something by talking negative. Okay. If you want to have a conversation with your Christian brothers and sisters, I would highly advise you, and this is my scholarly advice, do what you want to do with it. You can't come at them saying, oh, like the Bible. You're going to you catch more flies with sugar than shit. Okay. So as smart as we are, or smart as we claim to be in this era of information going to 2025, scholarly, it's our book. Brother said Europeans made the Bible to convert. Europeans ain't made shit. Europeans couldn't read or write. They have a shoe or window to throw a pot out of. Y'all got to go study and stop with this psychoneurosis. Y'all sound stupid among scholars. Come on, man. Europeans didn't write nothing. Name me a European that wrote it. You can't. And I'm not defending it. I want you guys to wake up to it. And I'm not in here to debate. Y'all know I don't debate with nobody. I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach. I don't have time to debate nobody. You can't show me nothing. Nowhere in human history where a Paleocaucasoid wrote that book. Y'all talking about the transliteration of it. Y'all give these white people too much credit. Way too much credit. They can't read or write. They couldn't read or write. You have 2 books that the Bible's made of. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on to the part. You have 2 books in there. You have what's called the Hebrew, okay, which is the Old Testament, which is about 66 books. And then you have the Greek version. The Greeks never had an alphabet. Y'all have to just listen for a second. Don't be puffed up with pride. Listen. That's why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, to listen for a second. And those who know me already know, don't believe a word I say. I'm not here to convince or persuade nobody. This is just information. Go do your own research, because I have. The Greeks never had an alphabet. The Greeks don't get their alphabet until they come into Egypt for the first time under Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Macedonian, or Alexander the Great, whatever you want to call them. and the Egyptians applied what was called the Hamitic and Demotic form of writing to the Greek language and gave the Greek their alphabeta. On the Ptolemy 1, Soter. Now, see, when I talk, I call names and give dates. I don't have time for the barbershop talk. I don't have time for what somebody told you. I'm giving you, write down what I say. Now, the Greeks never wrote anything. Ptolemy II, Philadelphia, commissioned 77 Hebrew scholars to transliterate the Hebrew Old Testament into what's known as the Septuagint. That's what y'all talking about, y'all Greek version. That's a version of it. Okay? That's what we're talking about. Now, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play only about a minute of this right here. This is Pastor Philip Mitchell. He's from New York, in Atlanta. Church is 2819. Whole different style of preaching, whole different style of teaching. Straight out the book, teaching line for line, or whatever the case is. And I'm just sharing this with y'all. Do with it what you want to do with it. I have a couple more tabs to go into the whole essay thing of children as well. And this is not me advocating for it. Somebody need to hear this. Somebody need to hear this. And it ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody.
Can I say something?
Okay. I'm gonna play this clip. And with
Minister,
with respect to the chat, with respect to the comment, the sister in here, Neo, I'm not in here to you can teach what you want to teach. I'm telling somebody to hear what I'm about to say right now.
Eli, give me a second. Let him let him say his
Okay.
piece.
Go ahead and cook, brother.
Now you understand. Let me hold on, Minister, real quick. I want to welcome ex-pastor Eli Taylor to the platform, and also my brother Big Dog Philly OG is in the building too. So I wanted to welcome them to the platform too. We're going to get into the sexual assault things too, but remember, I told y'all I wanted to bring some different perspectives to the panel. I don't want it to be a debate, but I do want it to bring some different aspects to the panel. Go ahead, brother. You got it, Minister.
Yeah, I'll say this right here. Then I yield the floor. That debating era is over. I can pull up and show what I'm talking about with facts. Facts are more dependable than opinions. Facts always win the argument. I'm not here to gain. I don't need no followers. Don't follow me. Go follow God. Don't follow me. I don't want no followers. I'm not in here to show out or do anything at all, but I'm gonna stand on what I'm being led to tell y'all. Now, I'm gonna share about a minute this right here. This guy's in Atlanta. Let's listen to him. I'm gonna come out for a quick rebuttal, and I'm gonna yield the floor.
Me the other day on Instagram. Why are you telling people it's the end times? Yo, brother, read. I ain't say I know when Jesus is coming back, but we know the aroma of these end times. Like time is running out. They're gonna keep persecuting me until stuff hit the fan in the United States, and then they're gonna go looking for my messages on YouTube. I'm trying to warn y'all now that a tidal wave is coming now, that the kingdom is coming now, that time is running out now, that you need to get right now. You need to be saved now. You need to put your faith in Christ now. You need to start living for real now. You need to be a witness now. You need to keep your family close now. You need to love now and forgive now and serve now and be a witness now and post for Jesus now and stand for something now. You need to do that now while we run out of time. Now is the time to do that. You in the game now. It's the fourth quarter now. It's time to stop playing church now. Man, some of the unbelievers in this room, they're tired of us playing church. They're sick of us.
I'm gonna end it right there. But basically, he's teaching against.
Sick of us playing church.
He's teaching against the very thing you guys are talking about. Okay, he's teaching against the perversion of the church and how the church has become so infiltrated by all kind of nonsense and crazy stuff going on, to where people who don't believe in it won't come on in and get right due to the fact of what you guys are talking about. Now, as far as scripture and the perversion of what's happening with the essay and dealing with children and these older men dealing with young kids, the Bible says that we wrestle not against flesh but principalities. It's a certain principality that's upon America, that's on the whole world right now. There's a principality, there's a spirit, there's a demonic entity that's with these people, that's in these people. Okay, and I'm not excusing nobody's behavior, but I'm gonna stand on what I stand on, and y'all can do what you want to do with it. There's a demonic entity. Now we can talk about the brother who messed with the little girl and who did this right here, but almost 1,700 priests and clergy are accused of the same thing in the Catholic Church. They dirty. The Catholic Church is dirty. Black Lives Matter activists convicted of SA and pedophilia. The Mormon Church doing the same thing. So there's a demonic spirit. There's a demonic spirit. There's a demonic entity. There's an energy. And I'm in Atlanta. I'm telling you, I'm in Atlanta. Atlanta is crazy. There's an energy. There's a certain spirit that's running around with these people, man. There's a principality that's running around these people. And I'm telling y'all, 2024 was the year of revealing. And we seen things that got revealed. Some people we ain't even expect. Ain't nobody untouched. Jake's, TD, Jake, everybody, anybody. All we going back to what's his name? The pedophile island, the white boy. Listen, it ain't gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. And I'm gonna yield the floor right there and come back with some more stats and facts. But I just wanted to set the tone for the kind of energy I'm coming with tonight, whatever the case is. I yield the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all get into it. I'm gonna bring Neo X on next, and then I'm gonna let Eli Taylor go, and then Big Dog Philly OG speak. Now, the reason I played some of that video showing those Bible scriptures again was because I was in a space where a sexual offender was frequenting, and as I was in this space, I was kind of attacked by believers who were saying God forgives this guy and this and that, and they were saying things like, I saw things like people who don't believe in God are sick, this and that, and basically I felt it hurt my feelings to see that I feel like I'm standing up for our children, our women, and I'm watching believers of this book, of this Bible, attack me because of what some humans wrote in this book. Again, I don't follow this book. It's not my cup of tea. I'm cool on it. You know what I'm saying? This brother has his own perspective of the book. And other people have their perspective. It just hurt my feelings to see people tell me that I'm evil, or not that I'm evil, but people who don't believe in God is evil. Yet there's preachers who sit right in the church every day harming these children. And I felt like what was going on with me, them attacking me, saying I was the one being messy for bringing this to the table. I felt like these are the same reasons these pastors are able to do what they want to do, because people saying speaking for God and things like that. And I feel like this is the same reason these pastors and these churches are able to harm these children over and over and over again, and people will make excuses for these people. I'm going to let Neo X join in, give her perspective. Some of these Bible verses that I just wanted to show y'all, like these Bible verses in here. When I ask y'all about these, a lot of y'all don't even know they exist, is what I'm saying. And this is why I asked y'all to stick around, just so y'all can kind of see what some of these verses is in these books and how they dealt with children. And this is coming from the Believers book of morality, basically. But Neo X, I'm gonna let you go. And then we'll go to Eli Taylor, and then I'm gonna let Big Dog
Hey,
Philly OG go. What up, Neo? We can't hear you, Neo. Do Can y'all hear me? Let me see. Make sure y'all can hear me.
Yeah, brother, I hear you loud and clear. Mike
I hear
Okay,
check.
you
You can
loud
hear
and
me?
clear too. She just cut
Neo,
out.
something's going on with you, Neo.
She muted right
You're
now though.
muted, Neo. You look like you're muted.
Maybe she coming back in or
Okay.
something.
Okay, Eli, let me let you go real quick. I don't know what happened with Neo. She might have to drop down and come back.
Well, if she do, I don't mind being interrupted. I'll just stop when she come back so
All right, that's cool.
she can share her thoughts. First off, thanks, Kali, for inviting me.
No
Peace
doubt.
to the Minister of Information. It's good to be on the panel with you, brother. I do enjoy a lot of the information that you put out. I was introduced by Chief. Um, I will say I'm right there with Neo with what she's thinking about some of the things that the Minister of Information brought up, but we can get into that. And I think y'all know how I am. I'm not going to debate you, but I don't have a problem if we have some fruitful disagreement. What I mean by that is perhaps it will spark all of us to investigate these matters a little bit
A little
further.
bit more. Yeah.
So I will say though, going back to the issue of Sodom and Gomorrah, as my sister Dewana brought up in the chat, is as I have taught when I was in the pulpit, and it seems that the issue to them in that time, in that setting, was hospitality. And so much so that women, daughters also, that daughters are women, were viewed as property. And just let me also say for the record, I am ex pastor Eli. So I'm not so sure any of this really happened in real life. But here's the story. The story is just that these individuals came there. We can get into the context of who those individuals were, but just on the surface of looking at it, going about offering your daughters who have not known a man to what would appear to be strangers. Maybe there was something special looking about them. I cannot phantom how special you could be for me, for Eli to offer you his daughter, because
Uh,
that ain't happening. That just ain't happening. Um, but there are plenty of other passages, and I think one of the passages that always gets me, it's not just in one passage, but one of the themes throughout that we hear about this is keep the women that have not known the man for yourself. As you brought up, it was in some of the texts that you brought up. And so we could get into this issue of morality as it relates to the Bible. We really get into that issue of morality. And I don't know what believers will bring up if there are some in the chat or anything anything anybody else on the panel might bring up. Um, but but these matters of can we say the great word
yeah,
on here?
yeah, I'm not monetized, so you
Because
can talk.
I've been hesitant to
Man,
try to
talk
say
how
it.
you want to talk on my
Okay,
channel. I'm not monetized over here. I don't have to do. I
okay.
don't have to do all that playing with words and all of that over here. Man,
Well, yeah.
they don't never bother me.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at that, keep the women that have not known a man and keep them for yourself. Right after a situation where you just had a war, you just went in there and murdered, that woman, that little girl's family, and then you're effectively keeping them for yourself. I think, although the Bible does not come straight out I mean, you read it in the NIV, the word rape. Some probably would argue that that's not in the passage that was based on the new NIV translation. Some people might argue that. Some other people might not. But when we look at this stuff and they talk about keep those women and children for yourself, and God is allowing this, that is a prisoner of war, and any sexual activity happening with that individual afterward, I would say would effectively qualify as rape, because they're you killed their family in the war because God told you to take their land or whatever, and now you get to do with them as you please. So that is an element that's in those passages. And then, I mean, if we want to go deep, deeper into the children in general, look at what it said. I think it was in a passage in that either you brought up or I read earlier in Samuel, where it talks about killing the little boys. Now these little boys potentially ain't done nothing. So now we get into the protecting the children, right? These little boys ain't done nothing, and how about this? Them little boys might even be virgins themselves, but they're boys. They have to die regardless of their innocence and age. And then we see in situations where um the Israelites are commanded to, going further into the children thing, to kill infants. Now, what could they possibly have done or remember that you did? Because if you did murder that infant's parents, they wouldn't probably know. You could raise that child as your, they wouldn't know anything. But I'm just saying, those are some overviews, real quick. And then to give them one
But you got
last
to put
one,
it
I
into
know we talked.
context, bro. You got to
Right,
put it
right,
into
right. I
context,
was gonna,
man.
I was gonna, I was gonna say that, minister. Um, going further into the New Testament is also another thing. Because when we go further into that, you got this forgiveness factor that was in your video, Kylie. That forgiveness factor, and the lady, unfortunate things that happened in her life. She said the hole will never be filled. She
That's
will
right.
never forgive him.
That's right.
It won't be justice until he burns in hell for murdering. And she, I believe, with her father, I could be assuming, I could be reaching, is she's probably a Christian, or at least was a Christian. I don't know if she's still a Christian, but because of how we're assuming the race. And before I leave, I just gave a quick overview. Before I leave, to the minister of information, I appreciate how you lay out the information, brother. Is very good, and I appreciate the time and the quality that you put out there. On the issue that you might bring up about context, yeah, I'm willing to discuss whatever the context, and remain keep my mind open to whatever context you feel you could provide to those situations. I would be very interested in hearing if there's a justification that you are offering for these texts. And I yield the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna let Big Dog Philly OG jump in here. Then, if Neo X doesn't come back, I'm gonna let Minister of Information get to it. Um, uh, Big Dog, I'm not sure if you heard the little backstory on why I'm doing this live tonight, but it comes in place because I was in a space with a sexual offender. And when I say space, I mean on social media. And I know a lot of us, and you know us over here, we don't play with sexual offenders in our
Yes, sir.
space over here. We not playing around with you. You're not coming in our spaces. That's just how we are over here. And this on this side of town of YouTube or in our knowledge or whatever. We just don't. We're not going to uplift you. We're not going to shout you out. We're not doing none of that, knowing that you are a child harmer. And pretty much, I got attacked in a couple spaces. I was called messy because I was calling this guy out in that space, saying, "Whoa, wait a minute, we can't call one predator out, but not this predator." Like, he's getting a
Yeah,
pass because we cool with him. I don't like that. I didn't like that. Um,
yeah, I'm
and
familiar with your story, my brother,
okay,
or what you're talking about. I've been, following you for a minute. Much love and respect always first.
yes, sir.
And the brothers on the panel, much love and respect. I'm not here to debate anybody. I'm too old. What I mean? I'm just here to give my experience.
Okay,
What I mean? As far as with these religions, the reason I used to be a believer. You hear the key word, used to be. You know, uh, and basically I had to go by my experience, you know, and I had to do some research. And one thing I researched is the connection between the church and the state, and the church and the government. You know, another thing I researched is how these churches are under 501c, 3Cs, and they get they get benefits for misleading the people or pushing their mythology. You know, me, I don't believe in no mythology. That's what I did when I was under my mother's roof, and I had to. But once I became a man and started experiencing my life, I started going by my experience. And I did some research on mythology. Like most of those stories cannot be proven to be true. You know, that's why religion is based on a belief system, because they can't prove that nothing in that Bible is real. And what I stand on is, like I said, the connection between the church and the state. You know, they can't deny that. They try to deny it, say it's a separation, but in 2024 and 2025, we know basically you can't deny that separate. Y'all together. They're working together. The corporation, the government, the corporation, and the church. They're partners. You know, and for me, like I said, I did my research. I used to be Islamic. My mom was raised under Christian or Baptist, and she gave me a choice when I became old enough to seek whatever I chose to seek, and I chose Islam. And then I had to come to that road that all these religions, all of them, all of them are working together for the corporation, and basically, you know, they they're put here to keep our people docile, keep our people sleep. You know what I mean? I stand on that no preacher, no E-man can prove what's in that book to be real, because it's all based on mythology. And mythology cannot be proven. Only in that book and your belief. So not to disrespect the brothers, but for me, that's why I gave up religion. I did my research and I connected, you know, the mythology with, you know, a belief system. And I choose not to believe anymore. Then I did a little more research and connected the church and the state, how they get tax benefits for, you know, doing what they doing, and how, you know, the pandemic should have woke everybody up. And I'm gonna be very
I
careful
agree.
how I
I
talk.
agree.
You
I
know,
agree.
the church ain't supposed to be involved in politics, but we got people like Raphael Warnock that becomes a preacher, then jumps into the, you know, the political pulpit. And then we got, you know, the pandemic that happened. You know, the church was saying, you know, pray over your food and believe in this higher power. And with a mustard seed worth of faith, this supposedly God can cure anything. It can do anything. And then we come to, you know, the pandemic and the church telling people to go with science. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot exposed about the religion. And like I said, I'm not here to debate. I ain't here to disrespect nobody. I don't have time. I love my people, you know, and I love myself. First of all, I had to learn how to love myself first so I can learn how to love other people. Because this corporation, these religions, these science, they taught us to hate ourselves. You know, I ask, you know, religious people, do you go to the library? What section of the library is your Bible in? You see what I'm saying? And they answer, and it's in the fictional section. You know, but like I said, I'm standing on two things: the connection between the church and the state, and how you can go to just about any university and get a degree in theology, and give your people, you know, this belief system. Like I said, you know, to me, these churches was the first infiltrators in our community. And ever since they came in the early 1650s, we've been going downhill ever since. And got our people believing in this invisible entity that doesn't participate in this so-called creation story. You know, I also ask these religious people, when the last time your God intervene in the creation in its creation. They'll say the wind, the trees, the animals, all above. But I said, other than that, have you talked to your God? Have you met your God? And no one can say yes. They can say, okay, I talked to him, but I see how religion has been used as a weapon in our community to keep our people, believing in not dealing with reality. And I'm going to land on this. Like I said, no one in that Bible, Quran, Old Testament, New Testament can be proven to be real people. You know what I mean? It's your belief. And I choose not to believe. And I also choose to wake my people up from the misinformation that's been pushed, especially the babies, because the babies deserve better. You know what I mean?
No
I
doubt.
could care less about old people and old feelings, but the babies need to be taught the truth. And I'm going to land right there for now. Thank you for letting me up, Chief Collins.
No
Much
doubt,
respect
no
to
doubt, no
everybody on the
doubt. Well,
panel,
I
bro.
gotta chop it up with you, brother, because I've been meaning to get you up here, especially on these type of topics. But uh, again, this is no bash on religion, and I hope this doesn't come off to any believers that's in the chat listening. I'm telling you, it just hurt my heart to see people attack me. When I was trying to speak up for our babies, when I was trying to create a safe space for our children, or bring some awareness to maybe somebody who didn't know about this guy, but I got attacked, and called messy, and I was told that God forgave this guy and his story was out there and we should leave it alone. We shouldn't bring it up and this and that. And it just really made me look at the church. And I said, this is exactly how the pastor is able to get away with the shit he does. This is exactly how. The same thing they're saying to me right now is exactly how these people that believe in this Bible and they go off this Bible. This is exactly why the pastor feels so comfortable. He feeds you these Bible stories and stuff like that, and manipulate you to, oh, God forgave this and God forgave that. That woman said her life will never be the same again. She said until he's burning in hell. She said her life will never be the same. Like that's, I got my sister Neo X back on the channel, back on the panel. Neo X, pretty much the backstory behind why I did this live. And I wanted to bring you on also to speak your mind on some of these Bible verses that deal with children. So it looks like you're muted, Neo, but you got the floor. And you
Yeah,
can. There you go. We
testing,
hear you.
testing. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I hear you. Go
Yeah,
ahead, sister.
peace, chat, peace to the men on
Peace,
the
peace, peace.
panel, peace to everybody. Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly what influenced you to do this chat. I mean, this show tonight because we talked about it on the phone. And I is there a clicking noise? Or is that in my headphone?
I do hear clicking.
Let me see something.
I do hear some kind of clicking.
I might have. Let me see if I can. Is that better?
I hear you.
Okay. Um.
Okay.
I just want to first start off by saying that this, like Callie said, we're not here to bash anybody or insult anyone's intelligence or come down on people who don't believe or think like us. But I think we are a little traumatized from people who are afraid to have a what we call debate. I see some of y'all like kind of giving off that vibe, like, oh, I don't want to debate. I don't want to debate. A debate is nothing but a formal conversation. You debate about who your favorite basketball team is, your favorite football team is. It's okay to have a debate about your views in religion if you can do it respectfully. If once you see someone is not mature enough to handle that conversation, that's when you politely bow out and say, okay, we agree to disagree. So it's all about mindset. I don't want the chat to ever think that debating is a bad thing. You need to debate so you can see other people's perspective, and then you can go do the research yourself, and then you come to the conclusion of what you conclude once you do the research yourself. Don't go by my word. Don't go by the Minister of Information word. You got to be responsible yourself. You're responsible for your own knowledge and what you believe. And people only believe what they're convinced of, right? So with that being said, reason why I decided to even cam up, because I was listening. I was just gonna chill, talk on the chat on my phone or whatever. And I said, okay, no, I need to cam up because I want to minister the information to really see how I feel about some of the things he's just claiming. Right?
Neo X, give me 1 second. You clicking again for some reason, but Chris Harris, I'm gonna drop the link for you also, because I did reach out to you. I don't know if you got it or not, but I'm gonna drop the link for you. This is for Chris Harris. This link is for Chris Harris. Yeah, Neo, something's clicking. Something's clicking. We got my brother Chris Harris in the building also. And again, y'all, these, the minister may have a different perspective on the book, which is fine. That's totally fine. And some of us have different perspectives on the book. I personally just don't rock with the book. Not saying throw it out, because I do believe there are some good things inside of the book that you can learn from, and you can you can take and use in your daily life. I just don't feel I need it personally. You know what I'm saying? Go, Eli, go ahead real quick.
Carly, I just wanted to ask you, how do you want this to go? And I'm asking you that respectfully because, yeah, I would love to address some of the things the minister said, but that ain't,
Me too.
I don't know when.
Okay, because okay.
Do what you tell me to do.
No. Okay, because there's two. I feel like there's two. I feel like there's two kind of conversations going on right now. It's just, I get it though, because it's just the way the minister teaches. You know what I'm saying? He teaches on a timeline of things. So he'll walk you, the minister will eventually walk you into where we're at. You know what I'm saying? He just likes to kind of give a back story. So I know y'all want to. I'm fine with.
He mentioned something about allegory and stuff. I want to know if he's saying.
Okay.
Because
how about this?
Talking about the kids. So let's,
How about this? Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this, and let's just have a conversation. Are we cool with that?
I'm cool.
Are we cool with just having a conversation about the book?
Yeah, but I just want to make sure it's clear. If somebody is giving you pushback, that is not an attack. You get what I'm saying? Like, he has to stand on 10 toes. If he makes a claim, he's going to have to elaborate more on the claim. And it's kind of hard because I'm not going to lie. I said it in the chat. Minister of Information, you came off a little condescending. You literally told the people who did not agree with you, the first thing you did was insult our intelligence. And then you appealed to authority to make it seem like you have some type of overqualification to teach or preach on this situation, as if me and Eli has not did the work. He's an ex-pastor and I'm an ex-Israelite who was a teacher. So you feel what I'm saying? So I think, respect goes both ways. I can respect the information you bring, but I really am encouraging you kind of do the same for us too, and don't be condescending and belittle us and come off with some type of authority that you have that I don't feel like you really qualified to have.
You're muted, minister. You're muted.
Have any of you ever taught in an institution? Any type of institution? Besides YouTube, have any of you ever taught an institution?
No, I have. I've taught some college courses.
You have, okay.
In religion. But they were very, very basic because my degrees only extend to a bachelor's level, and you have to be on a master's or graduate level to do so. So now, I'm not aware of this.
Just hear me out.
But I'm not
attacking that.
You got to stand.
I'm not attacking that.
These things. I know you teach on a timeline because I've witnessed some of your other material. That's great.
Minister of Information, why is that relevant to this conversation?
It's not. That's what I was exactly.
Okay, hold on, right. Brother Eli.
And we got brother Chris Harris has joined the panel also. Chris MVP Harris. Y'all make sure y'all check his channel out too. Go ahead, minister. Go ahead. Listen, I'm about to just let y'all have a conversation about the book. Okay. I'm cool with coming back for a part 2 as far as the essay stuff. You know
We
what I'm
can deal
saying?
with the sexual immorality too, because it's really about sexual immorality. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I deal with that.
I'm gonna allow y'all to go where y'all go.
But the point
Let's
I'm
just
making with
keep it
Brother Eli, this
respectful.
right here.
Okay.
When you was teaching those courses, there's a structure, right? You have to have a learning objective, right? A learning outcome, so on and so forth. So to the chat, to the panel, I teach at the collegiate level, and I'm used to structure understanding through education. I'm not used to the chatting and the back and forth and how you feel about anything. You know what I'm saying? How you feel is cool. I respect everybody's feelings. Okay. And if you feel like I'm coming from some type of authority, whatever the case is, I'm not. I'm your equal. I'm your equal.
You said earlier you want to debate your equal. You already dismissed us. That's what you said in the beginning. That's what made me keep up.
We're not going to do this, Neo.
All right, Mr. Information, can I ask you some questions?
Sure. Go ahead, brother.
All right. I've visited your page before, and I've looked at some of your material, and I find some of your material quite questionable as it pertains to history. Like when you talk about the Hebrews of ancient Egypt, what historical method did you use in ascertaining that Hebrews existed inside of Egypt, and what is your timeline for that?
I never say Hebrews. I call them Haberus, of which what they were called at the time in Egypt, or Hyksos.
Okay.
Hyksos.
Okay, so Hyksos. Once again, I asked you what was your historical method, and you called them, and you said that you called them Haberus, but that's not what your page actually says. And I looked at your page not too long ago, and I remember looking at it, and it clearly says Hebrews. It does not say Haberus at all on your channel. It says Hebrews.
Okay, so if you watch my channel, then you know that I always say that I'm a master student. And if you find me an error, let me know. Send me an email. Talk to me. Hey, brother, this is an error. So if you found that I'm in error, shoot me an email.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. When I heard you speaking to the audience and to the members of the panel, I don't want to get into all the condescending language or anything because I'm not really feeling good right now. But you were talking about how it is, what it is that you teach, how you teach. And the first thing you have to do when you read history is there's something called the historical method or a crap method that you should be using here. Callie, my fault, big bro, little bro. I said big bro, little bro. I'm older than everybody up here. Can I get a screen share, please? I want to show everybody something. And this is just some of the stuff that I talk about.
Mine.
Here.
That's mine right there. That's my screen.
Can I just do a screen share for a minute?
But I'm glad you showed that though.
Yeah. Yeah, because we can pull mine up.
I want to say something about this right here with the letters of Orestes and something he was saying earlier, but we'll get to that probably in the part 2.
Okay, can we deal with this? Okay, is it up?
Yeah,
okay, cool. Now here's your lesson here from a month ago. It was called The Hebrews of Ancient Egypt with the Minister of Information. Now, if you say that you teach at a collegiate level, I'm not going to argue with that. But what primary documents did you read to show that Hebrews are in ancient Egypt? Then you switched it and you said Haberus. Well, Haberu is not an ethnicity. Haberus were a people that was called dusty and dirty. That's all Haberu means. It is not an ethnicity. That's the first thing you would know if you go by the historical method. So when you're talking to people about who knows what, who teaches what, and those type of things, you have to be, you have to be clear and make sure that you are covered. And I'm not seeing that right now with your, with the way that you teach on your channel. It's a lot of, I don't want to be insult you or anything, but a lot of pseudo stuff on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Thanks. What else? Who's next?
Yeah. So Eli, well, actually, Neo was still talking. Actually,
yeah, she was.
Neo was actually in the middle of.
I mean, are you going to admit that you were just wrong,
brother? If you don't like my teachings, you don't subscribe to my teachings. unsubscribe to my page.
No. I didn't say it's
Okay?
not about
I'm not going to
like.
admit to anything at all because the word Hebrew itself, what does Hebrew mean?
Okay, you're asking me about a citation that you said you don't use.
But your argument is between Hebrew and Hebrew. You just shared with us what Hebrew mean. Now share with us what Hebrew mean.
Okay, Hebrew means one who crossed over. But when
Is
I
that a race
asked
or
you about
ethnicity?
this, no, it's a verb.
So what are we talking about right now?
Okay,
What's your
and
point?
this is what you call kicking the can down the road when you don't do any cross-referencing on the things that you teach. They feel like their back is against the wall, and then they begin to act like this.
Bro, listen, man, my back is
This
not
is a
against the
very
wall at all, bro.
excuse me. This is a
I'm
very
a master
condescending
student.
attitude that you're
I'm
showing.
a master student. That means I'm constantly learning. You just made
If
a
you're a
point.
master teacher,
Well,
if
well, would
you're a
it be
master
safe to say
student,
that you're gonna check it out,
I'm
Minister?
taking what you're
You're gonna
saying
at least
on
look at
board,
what
and I
he's saying?
appreciate the point of correction. Thank you for correcting that. I stand corrected.
Okay.
Thank you for correcting that. What are you trying to get out of this right now?
I think he was trying to get you to say that the first time,
What?
Minister. If you would have said what you just said, I think that
Well,
cleared it.
if anybody subscribe to my channel, they already know that I always say, don't believe a word I say. I'm not here to convince or persuade him. This is
Okay.
my portion of understanding. That's what I always say.
Well,
I always
depending
say
on
that.
depending
a
on
lot
where
of
the
this tends to
conversation. Go
be.
ahead, Chris.
It's
Thank
my
you.
portion of understanding is what I always
That's
say.
very good. But guess what? When you
And if you
teach,
find me in error, let me know. You just let me
okay,
know that I was in error. Thank you.
okay, that's
Thank you.
fine. But a lot of the things that you teach lack cross-referencing. And I
Okay.
can tell
I'll
most excuse me, let me finish talking.
start
I'm being just
cross-referencing
I'm
my
just
information.
but see, when you came up here, bro, you came up here speaking on, has anybody else up here taught before? You teach at a collegiate
Because
level.
I was making a
There's
point of
no
learning
way,
objectives.
I'm sorry, bro. There's no way you could be teaching at a
Learning
collegiate level with
objectives.
this type of material on your page. It's Moorish doctrine. That's
All right.
exactly what it is.
Kelly, what is the
The
point of
point
this
is,
live right now?
okay,
Okay.
see now,
So
Like I didn't come on for this, bro. Like,
no, I know. I
you
know.
just getting this rocks up. Bro, don't like me. Cool. I'm not here for likes, bro.
no,
I have a
you
whole
don't
other
have to play,
situation,
bro.
man.
You don't
I have
have
a
to.
whole
You don't have to
situation.
play the victim. I'm
Nobody's
just saying how
victimizing.
you presented yourself on
Go
the
follow Chef J
channel.
Ponder on YouTube. I don't, man. This is
Okay.
somebody doing the
Okay.
side.
Hey, Callie, take it away. Take it away, Callie.
So what
Take it
happened
away.
was. So what happened was.
We ain't getting nowhere.
I felt like we had two
Yeah, talking
different.
to you, I know I ain't getting nowhere.
Hold on,
Pseudo.
Chris.
Bro, mute your
Chris.
mic, man.
Chris. Hold on. What I feel like happened was there was two different conversations going on. Just honestly, being the way the minister started off, it brought up some other topics that Neo wanted to address. Eli wanted to address. The show was, I was dealing with the way I was attacked about an essay, about a sex offender. I was dealing with that, but I think the way the minister started off with the history of, the Bible and all of that is what sparked everything
No,
else.
can you hear me?
I hear you, Neil.
And it's the way he came off. He literally started off by insulting our intelligence. All right. He said that he was more qualified. He was very condescending with it. That's why Chris said he's not even going to go into the condescending conversation. He agreed that it was very condescending. And then he started making claims saying that the book is not the European and y'all don't know the timeline. It's the way he came off. He didn't come off as somebody who's delivering information. He came off as somebody, hey, don't question me. Question yourself. I know what I'm talking about. And now Chris just called him out and showed him where he was in error. I think kind of just low-key humbled him a little bit in front of everybody so he can get off his high horse and act like he's some master student or master teacher, because he's not above being corrected. You feel what I'm saying? We are all still learning. It's just the way he came off. It was very condescending and it was rude. And if you go back and listen to what he said, he did low-key assault us.
Yeah, I didn't even peek it. I didn't even peek it.
So I'm not trying, and I'm not trying to attack him in any type of way. It's just that when
I don't feel attacked, y'all. Let's just move on with the conversation. I don't feel attacked.
Okay.
I'm good.
You know what?
I have no feelings. My feelings are not involved in this right now. Like, come on, y'all. Let's move on. Thank y'all. I apologize to the panel. I apologize to the chat. That was my mistake for coming off condescending. I didn't make me feel anybody feel smaller.
Okay, so let's get to the chat.
All right, y'all.
Are you about to
I
teach the history
apologize.
of
If
the
you go to my
Bible?
page and find me an error, shoot me an
Neo,
email. I'll correct it, bro.
something is I don't know what that
Might be
is.
your mic
I don't,
wire.
I
Let's
don't
just
plug
move on to the
it.
Yeah,
conversation. But
It shouldn't
thank
be
you,
my mic.
brother
I don't,
MVP. Thank you, Neo, because we all stand to be corrected.
it's
I really appreciate y'all for doing that.
It
I'm not being
stopped Neo
facetious.
now.
Thank you, guys.
There it
but
is. Now it stopped,
yeah,
Neo.
Neo,
she muted though.
it
That's
stops
why.
when you go mute, Neo.
It's probably a wire or something.
Yeah, it seems like
now
it's a what.
is it better? Now is
Yeah,
that
that's way
better?
better. That's way better.
Yeah, it's my mixer board, but I said I've been unplugged this. I don't know what's going on with it. But
Okay.
And Chief Cali, can I say something before
Yeah,
I'm
yes,
about to
sir.
jump off, brother?
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
Uh,
big dog. You got it.
yeah, I appreciate y'all. Much love and respect to everybody on the panel. My information is in the back, Chief Cali. I
Okay,
appreciate you for calling me up. Y'all have a good
okay.
evening. I'm
Great
I
enjoying
got
all
you.
right,
y'all. Thank
peace.
Good
you.
I
night, bro.
got you. I
Respect
got
to
you.
all of y'all.
Yeah,
All right, good.
it's respect to all of y'all, man. However y'all at this point wanted to go with the conversation, I'm cool with it. If y'all want to deal with the point that I was bringing up, I'm cool with that. If y'all want to just discuss the book,
No,
I'm
That's why I
cool with
I
came
that.
mean,
on here, because I said I'm gonna side with the scriptures, and I'm gonna do my best to go into the scriptures and show just cause of sexual immorality. That's why I agreed to come on here.
okay. Well, we can move forward. I mean, long as it
Y'all
ain't
believe
no
what y'all
reason to
believe,
keep.
or whatever the case is. I'm just
Okay,
gonna
well,
show
Yeah,
right.
we
let
can
me.
move forward now.
Okay, well, let me let Neo get back to what she was stating.
And it's all
Because
love too.
yeah, it's all
It's all
good, man.
love.
I respect every last
Last
one
time
of
we went
y'all
live with
on
Neo,
this panel.
she went in. So it's
Yeah.
all love to
Neo be
everybody.
going in.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that's
Neo,
why I failed up. I was like, wait a minute.
Neo kind of knows. Neo kind of understands what I was talking about.
For sure.
Where I was in the spaces with the sexual offender,
Right.
and people kind of came at me, saying, "Oh, God forgave him, and you're being messy," and they kind of attacked me, and the reason I'm bringing this to the light because it just hurt my heart. It really hurt my feelings to see people just I'm feeling like I'm standing up for our people, our children, our women. I'm feeling like I'm trying to protect, and I got attacked. And they were like, we believe in
Yeah.
God, and it was like, whoa, and I had to back out of those spaces. So that's why I brought those Bible verses up earlier, just showing some of the things that go on with children in this book, and why some of us choose not to use this book for our morality or the fear of it. So Neo, I'm gonna let you have the floor.
Right. I totally agree with you 100% off top with everything you just said. Right. I definitely do not, even though I'm an omnis, I do respect that people choose to believe in what they believe in. It usually has something to do with your upbringing, most likely whatever religion you're gonna wind up taking to the grave. But I'm with Callie. I definitely, in my humble opinion, believe you definitely should not get your morality from the Bible. any principles. Maybe fighting against capitalism. If you're a person who's against capitalism, then maybe I say, okay, rock with the Bible. But everything else on how to treat children, how to treat women, how to treat people of different genders or sexual orientation, or even color of skin, I would definitely say don't use the Bible. Just like Callie said, we became aware of a young man. I'm gonna say his name because I'm gonna do a show about him soon. A young man named Maine. Maine is among a group of women bashing another content creator, and Maine is a is a pedophile. And I can say that because according to his record, when he started having sexual contact with a minor, that child was 12, and anybody who has sexual contact with a child 13 and younger is labeled a pedophile. So when Callie spoke up to a group of women about how he felt about this, the thing that the theme that we seem to get is that they all kept trying to use their religion to justify why they support or they're not speaking out against this pedophile. And me and Callie was like, wait, hold up. Why y'all think this is okay? Dude raped the child. But y'all making videos, 200 videos against a dude who has an allegation of being inappropriate with a minor. But you got somebody who was found guilty and copped out, said out his mouth, hey, I'm guilty, and took a plea deal, right? So why are y'all? I mean, what is the justification? Until I got on the phone with Callie and said, Callie, we might have to, put our hands up and say, let it go, because technically in the Bible there is no sin against pedophilia. We can pull scripts where the Bible even we can go to Numbers. Did you show him Numbers? Callie, Numbers 31. Verse 7. Okay, that.
No, he's agreeing with you, Neil.
I thought he said no.
He's agreeing with you. Yeah, he's agreeing.
All right, we can definitely go there, and we can see that they called little girls women children. They still acknowledge that they was children, but they were female, right? And that these men took them up. So I had to tell Callie, like, hey, to keep it real, Kevin Wesley thought I was mocking him more, but I wasn't mocking him more. I understood her perspective. I was like, come on, you know what Christians teach, that you're supposed to forgive. God won't forgive you unless you forgive other people, and that there is no sin technically against pedophilia, because sin is the transgression against the law. So that's kind of where me and Callie stand. Like, should you get your morals from the Bible? Hell no. And then the people who it was written for, in my research that I've done, the Israelites ain't no realer than the Wakanda from the Black Panther. That's how, it's just, to me, their stories, their allegory. Like the man who said earlier, I forgot his name, the brother who was just up here. It's a reason why the Bible is in the fiction section or is in the religious section. You're never going to find it in the history section, because it's too much evidence that this so simply just ain't never happened. But people, they have their agendas. They have their political reasons. I mean, let's be honest. The Bible is used as a tool, and unfortunately, it causes harm. Hospitals are getting blown up to this day with children and sick. The elder and sick over there overseas right now because of what people believe that the Bible says. They think that there is a God telling them it's okay to blow up kids, right? So, I mean, I'm gonna stop there. I'm move on to the next person.
Let me fill Chris in right quick, right? So Chris, when we started the show, I showed a video of a guy. Neo, tell them the story. You know the story better. I heard it. I'm hearing it for the first time. The guy, the video you sent me of the guy.
With the pastor.
The pastor.
Yeah. So long story short, y'all. I sent Chris, a long story short, I sent Callie a video of a story that I came across a couple of years, about 7 years ago, where it was a man who went to prison. He killed his wife and his unborn child, shot her, stabbed her up, killed her, left her for dead, put the weapon in the refrigerator, went outside, sat on the porch, called the police, told them, hey, I just killed my family, come and get me. They arrest this man. He is sentenced, I think he pops out and he get a plea from like 15 years to 45 years or some shit like that. On his 15th year, when he was, trying to parole, they denied him like 3 times. But on the 4th time, they granted him parole because a pastor who I guess grew up with him, or he knew he had this relationship with a pastor, came, spoke for him, vouched for him, and they paroled this man, only for him to wind up killing the pastor's daughter, because he wound up marrying the pastor's daughter. He wound up he didn't kill her. He killed her 4 children and left her alive because he wanted her to suffer. Like, hey, I'm okay with going back to prison, but, I'm going to murder your kids. And he killed her 2 kids that wasn't his, and then the 2 youngest kids, his 2 youngest daughter was his. And if you watch this video, this man is in front of the judge saying, well, God knows my heart. Only God can judge me. And I just wanted to help me. He still just not taking no accountability. What
God
he did.
Still has a plan, even with this.
Yeah, God has a plan for him. Yeah, he literally said, and I'm like, nigga, you killed your 4 kids. He's like, why God ain't kill you?
And Chris, these were some of the things that they were saying to me as they were, I don't want to say defending, but these were some of the things these people in these spaces were saying to me. Oh, God forgave him, and God they got to speaking for God. And I'm just saying, why, y'all are letting a lifetime registered sex offender in y'all space, and when he comes in here, it's like y'all uplift him, like y'all. I was like, so I had to self-check myself, Chris, and I had to back away simply not because simply because first of all, I don't want my name attached to this guy nowhere. Like, I don't want people saying because you be over in that chat and me on that page with them, you know, you support them too, which they tried to do, Chris. And that's how I became aware of the guy, because they were trying to attach my name to him through affiliation of other people. But it's the Christians, the believers in the chat. And I guess like NeoX said, hey, there is no in the Bible, there is no law or whatever, or no sin against pedophilia. So I pulled up a bunch of Bible verses to kind of show them, like, these are Bible verses in your book that kind of speaks to NeoX.
That was, bro, that you got to put him into context. Like,
okay,
to tell the whole story what was happening.
Yeah,
There's some questionable stuff in there. You know,
no, that's true. That's true. I was just trying to give a microwave version. You know that.
Hey, Callie, let me interject real quick. I want to make it clear. The reason why I don't want nobody thinking that I'm saying that, you know, well, it's nothing wrong with pedophilia because it's not in the Bible. The reason why I let this person know that is because she tried to put homosexuality and pedophilia on the same level, because she said they're both sins. And I said, well, one is a sin and one ain't a sin. And according to America and our law and our culture, you don't go to jail for being homosexual, but you do go to prison and get your ass whooped for, you know, messing with kids. So I just want to clarify, that's what I wasn't justifying or saying it's okay or they should be okay with believing in that. I just wanted to let her know it's not even a sin. But go ahead, Callie.
Now I'm a guy, Chris. You got the floor, Chris. I just wanted to kind of give you a backstory of why we did this live tonight, because my heart was kind of hurt, like, to see them. You feel like I'm standing up for our babies, I'm standing up for our women, and to see them use God, like to see them continuously use God to make excuses for this guy, was just, that shit was, it really discouraged me. Like, it really hurt my heart. And again, I have no beef with my sisters who run their platforms. This is just something I was trying to bring to their attention in the beginning. Like, it's never good to you know, attach have your name attached to.
That's why I kept saying it's a moral thing. Like, it's dealing with morality. Like, and
I felt you were going to get there.
Moral means, you know, like it's a.
But that's what I wanted
thing.
to talk about.
So when we talk about the Bible itself, three words that I want you guys to understand how the Bible teaches. And I'm not saying rock with it. Something called parables. Remember, a parable is a simple story used to illustrate moral or spiritual lessons. Catechism is a manual that summarizes religious doctrines in the form of questions and answers. Allegories is a story or poem, a picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning. That's all it is. It's allegories, catechisms, and parables to teach us morality. Now, you don't have to follow it. I mean, because people in there didn't have a book. People in the Bible didn't have a Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Some of those stories weren't bad.
Let me let Chris respond, and Eli, I got you after. You good after Chris. All right. Don't forget your thought, Eli. Don't forget your thought.
I'll try.
All right. So
no, because I really want to hear what you had to say. Go ahead, Chris. You got it, Chris.
Okay. So I think Eli has been. I can hold mine off till Eli gets finished. You know, I know he fired up over there, so he's been up here longer than I am. Let him get his off first, because I need to say it's going to be a minute, because I want to ask Minister for information. I'm on a dialogue with him specifically.
Okay.
About this conversation.
Go ahead, Eli. You got it.
I'm actually anxious to hear that dialogue, but let me.
Okay, I'll go. Go
ahead. Chris.
Okay, Minister information.
I love these two brothers, man.
What's up, bro?
Okay. Do you understand the difference? Do you know the difference between objective morality and subjective morality?
Yeah.
Okay. What is objective morality and what is subjective morality?
Subjective and objective. I would say that objective is something that can be pushed forward to everybody. Subjective is dealing with yourself. Like, that's a self. Like, what is your moral compass dealing with yourself?
Okay, yeah, somewhat. You're somewhat correct.
Okay, go
Objective
ahead.
morality is what Neo X would believe in as an omnis. That thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not destroy is something universal and can be taught throughout the ages. That's what you call objective morality, and it does not need the regency of a god to teach humanity that, because humanity can innately see that objectively enslaving people is wrong. Objectively, slamming babies' heads against the rocks is wrong. Even singing about it is wrong because what it will predicate in the near future. Subjective morality is a group of priests writing about their culture, saying it's okay to enslave, it's okay to commit genocide, it's okay to kidnap people, it's okay for God to ravage women, or RAPE women, in front of everyone, and say because he is ordaining this that it is correct. That's what subjective morality is. Case in point, subjective morality is only relative to the culture that teaches it. Objective morality is found in all sentient beings, mainly Homo sapiens sapien, because we could see the conditions that it shall create. Do you get that? Do you accept that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. So my next thing would be to you is, since you know the difference between objective morality and subjective morality, you as a Moor who understands the law, why do we need the regency of a Bible in order to teach us right from wrong, whether it be allegorical or parabolic?
Do we need it? And I just stated nobody in the book had the book. And they, according to the story, they struggled with strifes and all kind of stuff. And they,
Josiah actually had the book.
Josiah had the New Testament
David
before it was
had the.
written.
No. You weren't clear on what book it was, but you
Oh
said
no,
no.
I'm not talking
Had
about
the
the
book.
the Torah and Tanakh, the Pentateuch. Not talking about those. I mean the book that we have right now, the King James version. Nobody in the book had that book.
But we can agree they did have the
Scrolls, yeah.
Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Kethaim, right?
Yeah, they had scrolls.
Along
Didn't
with
have
their
books.
Mishnah, Gemara, and Zohar, right, to back up the mythical teachings, right?
Correct.
Okay, because this was part of their culture. They a lot of them were priests that did a lot of writing. It was a theocratic society.
Okay.
So we can agree that they did have this text. Well, not the
probably,
New Testament. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Not
I'm
the
like,
New Testament.
I'm about to say,
Yeah. I'm not gonna browbeat you on that. I'm not gonna browbeat you.
You gotta send me that link where they had the New Testament. You're gonna blow my mind. But yeah, I mean, they had a Let me say they. We're talking about who? The whole entire world had the book, or was it just the group of religious leaders? We know Rome didn't have it, and Rome was the dominating power at that time. They didn't have it until later. They didn't even agree to half of it. In fact, they canonized and changed a lot of it that was given to them. But do we need a moral compass as a society? I think, and this is my opinion, before the book itself, any of the text books.
No. I want to be clear. I said, do we need the Bible as a moral compass today, especially when you know that it only teaches a subjective morality?
Some people need it, yeah. Some do.
People need it.
Yeah. Some
okay.
do. Some
okay.
do. Yeah.
Okay. So, but I'm asking you, do we need it? I'm asking you.
Us on the panel?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm asking, do we need it?
We probably need it as much as we need civics and economics book. Read it, look at it, and move on. You know what I'm saying?
Is that a yes or no?
No,
I just
we
want
don't.
to be a little clear.
It's not a need. I'm making a point of you should read it. Like don't not read it and then talk about it. Like at least read it.
At least read it.
Yeah, at least read it.
Okay, so you're saying that it's okay to read this text. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. All right, cool. I'm cool with you on that one. So my next question to you as a Moor, I'm speaking to you as a Moor.
You keep calling me a Moor, man.
I thought you was a Moor. I see you with
That's
a
just a
fez
school,
on.
man. That's a school. Moor Science Temple. I'm also a 43rd degree Mason. Like this is schools. Just I went to different schools.
Okay, so if you
it's a school,
cool.
Bro. School of thought. That's it.
Minister of Information. All right.
Okay,
you're acting as if I'm not familiar with these. I'm very familiar. You're talking to a mythicist here. I'm a mythicist.
Put my fez on. Put my fez on. Let me
okay. All right. So what I'm asking you here is, if this book was ordained by God, why wouldn't it be a form of objective morality versus it being subjective only to a chosen group of people?
If the book was ordained by God, why would it
Right.
be? Say that one more time.
If this book is ordained by God to be a moral compass for the world, why does it only possess subjective morality? He chose a group of people to push these laws on other indigenous groups, which makes it very subjective, not to mention ethnocentric, because this book teaches that your indigenous culture, Callie, is not good enough for him. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So indigenous people, I think, should not be reading this text objectively at all, because everywhere where this book went, the indigenous people suffered because of it. That's how we know it's not based on objective morality. It's not. It is a subjective
I don't. I
morality.
don't. I don't. I don't have a rebuttal for that. You're absolutely right. You're talking about Christendom, the conquesting through religion. Yeah, I agree with it. But the people need to know that they didn't have a. They weren't going around the world with these books because the first book didn't get printed to 1462 in Woodbridge, Germany. So Europeans wasn't just going around the world passing out Bibles. You know what I'm
No,
saying? They weren't going
no,
around
but they were
passing them out.
taking, but they were taking the philosophy of Christianity with them amongst or to the indigenous people. It wasn't like the book conquered them. They used their philosophy and what was in the book to say, God ordained us to do this to you, because indigenous people practice elements of animism, totemism, ancestral worship, nature-based worship. They don't practice things out of a book because they understand through nature, philosophically, their religion or their ancestral traditions are going to change because times change. Once again, we're going right back into objective versus subjective.
This book itself was only supposed to, and this is my opinion, was supposed to be given to a certain group of people.
Yes.
According to Matthew 15:24,
Mm-hmm.
Joshua himself already said, hey, look, I ain't come from no Indians, I ain't come from no Chinese people. I came from my folk, my kinfolk. I came from my people right here. And this is
Okay.
Matthew 15:24. So the book itself, through perversion, 1462, Woodbridge, Germany, Johannes Gutenberg, first printed Bible, 1516, Desiderius Erasmus did the first transliteration. And then you had Miles Coverdale,
Desiderius.
Desiderius Erasmus, Miles
Yes.
Coverdale. Who else? You had several others throughout Europe perverted different versions and transliterations of the book. So to
Well,
say,
when we say that Europeans perverted the text,
Mhm.
once again, if we look at it objectively, it's a perverted text. The thought processes within the text are perverted. The European doesn't need to pervert it anymore. We have stories of incest, stories of
I kind of feel like that too.
rape. We have
I,
stories of enslavement of indigenous people. We have mass genocides. We have kidnappings
yeah,
for reproductive purposes. It's already a perverted text that's not needed.
I agree. I agree.
I said this earlier, Christianity was created for the salvation of Europeans in the church. They created that. I said that. I agree with what you're saying.
Mhm.
I agree with that part of it. They created this version of it. Like the version they created of it was like that. Their conquering mechanism, a conquering tool they run around conquering with. I don't disagree with that you're saying. But
Okay.
for me, it goes back to a man. Is it right or wrong? A man laying with a man, is it right or wrong? A older man laying with a child, is it right or wrong? It goes to a moral compass situation. Like, damn, does this feel wrong? Does it feel right? And the scriptures tell us also to abide by the laws of the land. So if the laws of this land is, especially in America, as this is my opinion, as perverted. I love that word perverted because it's perverted. I'm in Atlanta. as perverted as places like Atlanta is with this this Jezebel spirit
Neo,
that's
I think you got
everywhere.
some. Neo, I think you got some
Um,
background noise. Neo.
I think that it's on an individual basis. It's on an individual basis, man. You can rock with it or not rock with it. Me personally, you can pray to a mailbox. When you get up, we got work to do as a people. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with how they utilized it, how it was used to conquer native people who were all counts of history. They were doing fine. They were thriving and healthy, and just they were doing fine without it.
Can I ask a
But
question real
yeah,
quick? So, I'm just enjoying the conversation at this point. At this point, I'm just kind of enjoying the conversation. Let me ask my question to the minister real quick. But Eli, do you still have your Chris? Was you done with your?
I got a couple of questions now, but
Yeah.
y'all go ahead.
I want to let Eli talk because I don't want to overtalk the panel or anything like that. But I'll come back to the minister because once again,
I gotta bring Chris on my channel. Man, Chris gonna have a whole 4-hour conversation over there.
I think that'll be a dope
Nah,
conversation.
yeah, you just want your peanut ground. You want people to cheer you on.
what's it called?
We ain't got to go live with me. I mean, now
I'll just playing, bro. I'll
the
just playing.
conversation.
I like this
The brothers
conversation.
having is very
Hey,
thoughtful.
I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah,
Chris. I ain't gonna lie,
It's very
minister.
like I'm over here like, well, you know, okay,
Yeah,
well,
cause
I
yeah.
you know, I
I
like
hear
this
you, but he
conversation.
kind of slow cooking you a little bit, bro. I
I,
don't know if you.
I still don't personally rock with the book, but I did want to ask you. I did want to ask you real quick. And Eli, I'm gonna let you go. Eli, I'm gonna let you go.
Please let Eli go.
Just.
I'm good, man. I'm enjoying the
No,
conversation
this
too.
is a good conversation because now you got me. Just
I'm
real quick, I
enjoying the
just wanted to ask you
conversation.
this question. What is So when you said this, you don't even have to answer this right now. Because I want to let Eli go. I just want to get my question out. When you said this book is our book, I don't know. Like I don't rock with the book at all. Other than reading it and learning what's in it. I feel like I don't need it. I don't need it in life. I don't need it for my morality. I don't need it for anything. But when you said this book is our book. Hopefully after Eli, ask you his question, somewhere you can get to that question for me. I just wanted to get an understanding of what you meant by that. But go ahead, Eli, you got it.
He might want to. I don't know. He might want to. You good,
I'm
minister? You want to say
no.
something?
You go.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he can come back
Okay.
to me.
Well. I may
He
have
can come
been.
back to me.
There was something that was said about the perversion of the book. I think maybe I missed something, but were you saying, minister, that they perverted the book? That is that what you're saying? That
Halito.
can you hear me, minister?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Were you saying that? I heard something. I want to clarify, and then if I understood it right, then I might have a question. You said about the book being perverted. I guess you're saying the Europeans perverted the Bible. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
And now, are you saying the teaching of whatever scriptures they had, or they actually manipulated the text?
Well, we have to look at things like the Council of Losida. The Council of Losida in 663 was the first time that the Romans were finally convinced to take on this Judaic belief. This is when they changed. They transgressed the law by saying Saturday is no longer the day of worship is now Sunday. They took out over I don't know how many canons out of the book. Things like that happen. It's not the first time it happened.
So you're saying that they actually manipulated ancient texts or omitted ancient texts and therefore perverted the word of God. I'm just trying to keep it simple. I'm
not saying anything about ancient texts. What I'm pointing out is there's several council meetings that Europeans begin to pervert not only the scriptures but the religion itself. Remember, as I keep saying, this is a created situation. They created it. Right. Jesus was not a Christian.
But I'm asking you specifically
that.
about the Bible. You said the Bible is perverted. So I'm kind of
Yes.
asking you specifically about the
Yes.
document and what you meant by perversion. Did you mean their teaching of a document that was already established, or what you just said, them taking things out, maybe putting things in, and therefore changing what would have been
took
the
things out,
original
put
scriptures?
things in,
Okay,
perverted
now
it through transliteration. Go ahead.
okay, so if that now I would have a question. Well, you it's kind of mixed with Callie's because you're saying that it's our book. I would have to ask you, if you're saying that they perverted, can you teach us how you know of this perversion and how it's our book that they wanted to pervert?
Council of Laodicea.
Yeah. What I'm saying, can you?
Laodice.
No, I
That's the
know of
council
it.
meeting where the
I
perversion
have a
starts to
book.
happen, bro.
Just so you know, I have a book. It's not on me. I don't keep this stuff, ready to go. I was reading Dr. Walter Williams. Was a great book on
Excellent.
of a lot of
Historical
these
Christianity.
councils, and so I'm
Yeah,
very aware
yeah.
of that. I would have to run upstairs and grab it to refresh my memory. However, I'm just asking you, because you seem comfortable giving your opinion. You did say earlier when you was talking to Chris that you was giving your opinion. So what is it? How did you get to the point of saying that they perverted this? Like, how do you know what in that book is perverted by them and what's not?
I'm trying to understand what you're asking.
Okay,
and
maybe if
I
you're saying that it's perverted, do you have you have some reason for believing that is perverted, right?
by literally reading the Council of Laodicea when they literally
Right. That's what I'm just
perverted the
asking.
law,
Can you
bro.
tell
Like
us
this.
a compelling point to get us to see why that's your point? Can you just explain it? Yeah. Can you expound on that council? Can you tell us some things that you learned from reading up on that?
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go into it. The 59th canon forbade the reading of the uncanonized book. The 60th canon listed chronological books of the New Testament containing 26 books. They omitted the book of Revelation at first, the Old Testament, including 22 books, the Tanakh. What else they did in here? Hold on. I can give you a whole list of what they did. They outlawed the keeping of the Sabbath, which was Saturday, right? That's perverting. That's changing, because in the beginning the Bible said Saturday. He rested, the Most High rested on the sixth day. The omission of instructions for catechism is in there. They put catechisms in the book in learning. Specific biblical canons 59 through 60 were removed. So they were removing the original text. The text that I think Brother Chris was talking about earlier, he laid out a couple different versions of it. Those versions, by the time Rome got a hold to it, this is when the what's his name, Paul was basically trying to get the Romans to convert to Judaism. The Romans took the scriptures that the brother was talking about, and they perverted them by removing certain sections, adding certain things. If Eli writes a book, I take your book and take out and rip out 15 pages and add my pages. That's a perversion of your book. That's one example of it. Several other council meetings.
So in the context of what we're saying, while you're getting there, I'm sorry, I'm just for the sake of time. In the context of what we was talking about, are you insinuating that these rape situations and these situations with kids, are these somehow weren't in there? Are these somehow perversions of what God originally put in there? Can you tell us what you think
that's a whole other
is? That's where we
conversation.
were. That's what the conversation. That's what I came in to talk about.
I think me and Chris was talking about the book itself. I said the book itself has been perverted. It's been changed. It's been doctored up. Been taken out. It's been stripped.
Yeah, I like to address that.
To your point of what you're asking, no, Mary was what, 13 when Joseph got with her, and you have to look at some of the Judaic law. Like some of their law is pretty jacked up. Look up the bat mitzvah, not bar mitzvah, the bat mitzvah. When they consider a young lady at a certain age, she's a grown woman, even though in our eyes, like she's 12 or 13. Like, come on, bro, that's a little girl. You know what I'm saying? they rock with that. Like they really believe that. I pointed out earlier the Mormon church. You know what I'm saying? Like I point out, I'm not for or against anything. I'm simply showing people like, yeah, it's in there. There's a couple things in there that's pretty crazy. Abraham marrying his sister, who he called his wife. I mean, there's some couple.
So
weird stuff in there.
when we said earlier, rock with the book, I kind of understand what you mean by that, because what I'm gonna say with that is a point that Bart Ehrman made that I thought was good. When you know the Bible, you at least understand something about this Western culture, and if you could at least read it for the reasons that you had to read, I don't know, Shakespeare in high school, whatever. We probably don't read it today, but we know of it. We know how they talk in those times. So getting back to that. What is that? I mean, bro, like, are you supporting this book? I'm just trying to get to the nitty gritty. Are you supporting it and what it's saying in relationship to the kids and the things that's going, keep the young women for yourselves? Or maybe you would like to give us your interpretation of the text because Kylie had put them up. Kylie, you got those scriptures still, right?
Here's right. Those scriptures, you need to put them in the context of what I'm saying. But here's what I'm saying. There are some things in that book that'll get you through a bad day. Now we sit up here and how long we can sit here on this panel, act like we got it all together, and we not on this live talking tomorrow, Friday, and the weekend coming, and the Christmas, and the kids, and your wife, and there's some stuff in there that gets you through the day. There's some stuff you can read and you know what, I feel a little bit better now. There's some stuff and you're like, what the hell? This shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff in there that'll rock your world. The point that Callie was making earlier, some stuff in there that make you scratch your head and think twice. When I read that she was 13, like, oh, that was years ago. That messed me up. Like, that's a little girl, bro. That's crazy.
But minister,
I don't agree with that.
Let me ask you this.
I don't agree with that. But there are some things in there when you're having a bad day, when you don't know what to do, you don't have a friend to talk to, your mama, like, there's stuff in there that you can read that make you feel a little bit better.
But let me speak to that. Like, so is there nothing else in the universe that you can find that you can use when you're having a bad day? It has to be that book. Like,
there's
why?
Several other things you can reference, bro. You can Google a quote for the day, make you feel better.
And
talking about the book itself, right?
Okay, and that's one of my things, minister. Like, that's one of the things long before this conversation. I tell people all the time, you can find some truth in there. You can find truth in anything. You can find some inspiration in anything. You can find, like, it doesn't, like, I'm trying to figure out, why do I need this book? Why do I need this book? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can find inspiration. I just had a very inspirational conversation with an elder the other day that I didn't even know talk. He spoke out the blue to me, and he spoke to me about culture, and he told me, he said, all I've been wanting you to do was listen to me. And he said, and I didn't even know this guy could talk. I was giving him his medication. I didn't even know he was alert enough to even talk. He said, all I wanted you to do was listen to me. He said, I finally gotten your attention. And he started talking to me about culture. That didn't have nothing to do with the Bible. And I left that conversation so inspired, So I say that to say, when I'm talking to believers and stuff, I just, and they try to feed me the Bible, and this Bible is going to, there's things you can find in there to help you get through the day. I just be like, man, there's all time. I could encounter a baby that might help me. It might inspire me in some way. You know what I'm saying? Looking at children play with each other and just watching them not even fight with each other, just not even knowing each other, meeting each other for the first time, and they're playing, like, enjoying life, might inspire me. And I didn't even need a book. I didn't need a Bible. Like, I didn't need that to come from a book to tell me that. Real quick, I got my sister DeWanda checking in right here. Also on the panel, we just having a discussion at this point, y'all. It's just a discussion. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Let's just a simple discussion, from different perspectives. That's all, That's
I
it.
think I think what the issue though is when you look at it and you say, okay, there's good things and there's bad things in the book. Okay, but there are things in the book directly supposedly tied to who the believers think is the creator of the universe, and the things contained within the book where this entity is giving immoral directions, instructions, and rules and regulations. So I guess the way that you intro into the conversation, minister, makes me, at least in the back of my head, I'm trying to bring out the elephant in the room. I'm trying to understand where you stand right now, so
I
I'll
can
know how
explain
to
it. I can
address
explain
you.
it.
You want me
I
in
can
the
explain
box?
it. No,
You
I
want me in
got
the
you,
box?
minister.
I do want to hear from the horse's mouth,
No,
Chris.
no,
I do
but
want to hear
let me.
from him.
But watch this.
I have
But
a
watch
whole
this.
bookshelf
Okay,
over
go
here
ahead.
full of books. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so the minister explained to me that he is a Mason slash Mason. Okay, now Masons believe in the grand architect of the universe. So they believe in, guess what? Representing all divine religions. Therefore, nobody is taken, pushed away. That's what Masons teach, and that's what they do believe. He can't tell me that they don't. Trust
Are you
me.
a Mason, Chris?
Okay, we will talk about that later.
If you're not a Mason, you can't speak on it, bro.
Okay,
Just
well, I just did.
respectfully.
No, it's
Respectfully.
not respectfully. I understand masonry, okay? So you're telling me that I can't speak on something that I understand. Masonry is not subject to just the way that the European gave it to you in the Scottish rites. Masonry comes out of ancient Africa in the Congo and Western Africa. That's where it came out of, not to mention the ancient schools and temples in Egypt. So masonry is an African practice, not a European Scottish rite practice. So for you to tell me that I don't understand it would be incomplete. This
Yeah,
is
I'm
why
not
you're
Scottish, right? Affiliated, bro. So I
okay.
don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. So then you're
I'm not
not a
affiliated with
Mason
that.
in the United States of America,
I'm not
because
affiliated
that's
with
the only
Scottish, right?
thing that happens. That's the only
There's
ones
other
that exist
rights.
here.
There's other
Okay.
rights, okay? Other
Okay,
rights.
sure. Okay, so let me just
Yeah.
finish going here, if you don't mind. So this is why he's taking somewhat of a benign stance on the Bible. He's not denying it, but he's also for it. And I'm trying to help you out here, minister.
Yeah, you can't
If
speak for me though, bro. I don't know.
trust me,
We're not
minister,
doing that, bro. We're not doing that,
trust.
bro. We're
Guess
not doing
what?
that, Chris.
Okay,
We're not
guess
doing
what?
that, Chris.
I wouldn't even try to speak for you. Trust me,
Yeah,
because
you
I
can't
Well,
would
speak
cut
he's
for me.
my
gonna
tongue
he's
out.
gonna tell me because I'm
I
still
would
gonna hear
cut
it
my
from
tongue
you.
out if I had to
That's
do that. Trust me. But you
Yeah.
guys are more ominous than you
Yeah, you can't
actually
speak for
know.
me, bro.
Trust me. So let me
Well,
finish up
that's
here.
what I was going to say, Chris.
He's more
Was it
ominous. Yeah.
was it more ominous because Neo kind of uses the Bible too? Well, and so I was going to say, is that kind of more what Neo is?
Here, well,
Can,
one
can
of the
I?
things. Oh, go ahead, Neil. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a second. Neil can tell you real quick why I use the
Right.
Bible.
Speak for yourself.
When I only use the Bible in the perspective of when I have conversations with people, I speak their language. So sometimes I have to use the Bible. There's no point of me speaking to someone about Buddhism or Hinduism if they don't understand the lessons. So that's why when Amora, Kevin Wesley thought I was mocking Amora, but I was not mocking Amora. I would say, Amora, let me help you out. The Bible does teaches you to forgive, and this man, if God forgave him, he's repentant, then blah
That's
blah
my
blah.
point.
So that's the point of like me being honest. I
right.
understand why people believe, but personally, I do think the Bible is like the main cause of why the most unethical and moral things even happen today, even in these present day. So I don't want people to, I know there's good things we could pull out of it, because me personally, I believe in the philosophy that the root to all evil is the love of money, right? But I also know that the reason why schools are getting blown up full of children and hospitals and stuff is because people believe in this mythical God that allegedly made promises to a certain group of people. And I want to leave y'all with something with a food of thought too, so y'all can think about this real deep. Ask yourself this: do anybody know the percentage? What is the percentage of white people that they make up in the whole entire world? What percentage? Do anybody know? Take a
Ooh,
wild
I
guess.
looked that up. I don't know it, but I did look that
It's
up
very
for
small.
I'm going to show
myself.
you how powerful this
It's
book.
very small because I know we
I'm going
got
to show you how powerful this Bible is, right? And why they choosing to use it as a tool. What y'all think it is? 50%, 40%,
Nah, it's super low.
20%?
It's like 14, 17. It's like some
It-
low stuff.
I was gonna say less
It's-
than 20.
It's between 7 and 8%
Yeah, it's real
Whoa.
low.
that white people
Oh, wow.
population versus the Africans, the Asian, they only represent 8% of the population, but they have the number one language spoken,
Mm.
the most wealth, and they use the Bible with the Israelites and the Jew, not the Israelites, they call themselves Jewish, the Jewish people, Christians supporting the Jewish people, of why and all this stuff is all tied together. So me personally, I believe once science prove that there is no hell when you die, they ain't gonna believe that shit no more. They only believe in that Bible because they for fire insurance. They simply just don't want to go to hell. So that's why they believe. Simple as that.
Well,
Now-
she said fire. She said fire.
Now I do want to point out something
That's what it is. You remember I just told you a story of a man.
From the minister though. I ain't forgot. I ain't gonna get off of that. I want to hear from his mouth where he stand on that.
But I'm just saying, it's low key is fire insurance, minister. I gave you this, example of a man killed his whole family and think he's still going to heaven. Like I'm gonna give you an example. He killed his family twice, and he thinks he's going to heaven.
I read the Bible. I have an understanding of it. When I first came into all this conscious and woke stuff, this is like 16 years ago. I threw the Bible away because stuff is fake. But I had more encounters with Christians, and I found myself not being able to really talk about debating and that Bible ain't nothing and you lose them. So I found a way. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna understand it. I'm gonna see what's going on in here. Same thing with the Quran. Same reason I went into Masonry. Same reason I went to the Moorish Science Temple. Same reason I went into the Masjid. Now I can talk to anybody about anything. Everybody, all people about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like me saying that I don't rock with the book. No, I don't fuck with that book. The book ain't did nothing to me. None of these books have did nothing to me personally. Okay? I'm a learned person. I love to learn, I love to read, I love to have an understanding. I'm an understanding person. Okay? So the book itself, if anybody on the panel is a Christian right now, they'll probably leave because there's no conversation for them. You know what I'm saying? For me,
it's coming because we got to get into how they have to forgive. We ain't even got to like while we was really here. We've been talking about everything else. But there are some things because we need to talk about the Christians that are required to forgive these pedophiles. But before we get there, minister, like I said before, I want to hear from you. So I have to ask you where you are so I'll know how to interact because we haven't had much interaction.
Interact with me regular,
like I said, that's what but and this
you're
is
pastor,
how I do
right?
You're
pastor.
Ex-pastor.
Ain't no
ex-pastor.
You're a pastor, man.
So
you still know that
you
book,
can say
don't
it that way. Believe me, it was 20 years of my life, so I definitely know it. So but what I'm asking is the way that you came in and the way that I perceive, at least had some assumption of feeling the way things were gonna go. I need to know where you are so that I can have the proper conversation with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you this right here. The reason I came on the platform initially, Callie was asking, he's going to go through the Bible. I said, well, I talk from the biblical perspective, morality and, sin, all that kind of stuff. That's why I came on the platform. Doesn't mean that I rock with the book. I was coming to be the spokesperson for the book. He like,
so you think we get
I think he was kind of what Neo was saying, like how Neo was saying, I was trying to show Amora this about the book. I think he's saying that's the angle he was coming from joining the panel too, was to like how he said, I agree with Neo. There is no sin for pedophilia in the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
And to keep people from judging these people because they're conditioned and indoctrinated.
Right.
You have to let them know, hey, it's fucked up. It's wrong. You shouldn't fuck children. A perfect God should have put that in the Bible. Hey, don't fuck kids. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't put it in there.
But a lot of them don't know that there's nothing in the Bible condemning that.
Yeah, they don't even know.
They don't even know that because a lot of them don't really read the
They
book.
don't read it. They don't read it.
You know,
They
so
don't read it. Yeah. They
If
don't
I
read
you
may
it.
know.
add something, good evening, everybody.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
sis.
Good to see you, Elisha, Callie,
What's up, sis?
Neo X, Minister of Information, and Chris, I believe that's his name,
Yep.
MVP. Um, for the most part, at the end of the day, a lot of Christians, believers, they really don't. I don't think they really care, honestly. I think it goes back to what Neo was saying. It's the fire insurance policy, and most people are just so indoctrinated that they can't grasp their mindset around that this whatever deity that they believe in is coming back for them to save them and all of that stuff. So a lot of these scriptures get glossed over by pastors, ministers, teachers because they're not feel good scriptures.
They're
Who
not
want
feel good. There you
who
go.
wants to who wants to go to church and hear about 42 bears mauling children?
Good
Who wants to
point.
hear about two daughters literally raping their own father? Who wants to hear these types of scriptures? Whether we take it literally or figuratively or whatever, people believe that this is the word of God, and so therefore everything that's in this Bible in these words is true
Yeah.
and nothing else. But again, these pastors they don't teach these non-feeling good scriptures. It's all about the love movement. So at the end of the day, a lot of Christians just really don't give a damn, to be completely honest with you. And I just wanted to say something to the minister right quick. Well, to for everybody actually. So just and I use the Bible a lot too as well, because we have the majority of all of us on here is melanated. So we have in our background pretty much is going to be in Christianity, whether it's Pentecostal, Kojic, or whatever denomination
Methodist.
that
Yeah.
you Methodist,
Apostolic.
Baptist.
apostolic, whatever denomination that you come from, we can't. At the end of the day, we cannot escape using the Bible. We can't escape it. It's ingrained in everybody's culture at this point. So we can't escape it. So we have to use it to help draw people away from it. If we
Well,
understand what's going on with it, and I believe that's what, and I'm just going to piggyback what Paul said. Again, I'm just using what the Bible says. He became all things to all people to win them over. So we understand what the Bible truly is, what the play really is with the Bible, that we have to become all these things in order to show them, to give them the correct lens or mindset, even help them plant a seed so they can see what we see. Other than that, they're not gonna see shit.
and you guys,
Drop a bomb for that, sister, man. Drop
yeah,
one
yeah,
of those bombs for that, man.
yeah. That's my
Very
sister
well put and
Dewanda.
articulated.
And you guys, I actually want to do this show. And I want to invite you guys back on the show. I think I only sent Neo X the video to check out, but there's a video called Is Religion Evil? Was it created? Yeah, and it was a very good video. I think Neo is the only one I sent it to so far. But I'm gonna send it to the rest of y'all to check out too. And I want to come back and actually have this discussion. But yeah, y'all can get back at it. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
That's
Yeah, I'm
crazy you
gonna
said that,
do.
Callie, because I'm doing the interviews, and after that I'm gone, y'all. I'm
Okay.
gonna mute back up. But I'm doing interviews for I know I sent it to you and Elisha about the effectiveness, or maybe the lack of the effectiveness of religion, and how it plays a part in the Black community specifically. I'm not saying I don't care about other communities, but I care more about my
Specific.
people.
Yes.
Yes, I care more about
Yes.
our people, because
Yes.
we're so far
Definitely.
behind on every category, and that
Definitely.
we can't see that religion does have a strong hold on us. And until we
Yeah.
understand what it comes from and what it means and this, that, and the third, then it's
Definitely.
going to continue to have that same cyclic nature.
Definitely. Definitely. No doubt. No doubt.
So I would love to interview all y'all on here.
No
Cycling
doubt.
the grosses.
Shameless
That's
Let's
the
plug, shameless
word.
plug.
let's
Okay.
Cycling the
do it.
grosses.
Chris, you got the floor. Let me let Chris get. I
Yeah.
see Chris has
Yeah.
something he wanted to say.
A couple of things here. One of the things that the Minister of Information had stated, and unfortunately, you are the center of attention right now here. But you mentioned the
I
Council
know,
of
man. This
Laodicea.
ain't even my show. God damn.
Yeah, but you
Talk
mentioned
to
the
Cali.
Council of Laodicea, in which you then first said that the Bible has been perverted by them taking certain books out. Now, the books that they took out were hold on, I think I can remember. God damn it! Excuse my language. I can't remember those books. The Epistle of was Clement, the letter of Herms. It was the letter of Herms or the
Book of
shepherd.
Enoch, Book of Jasher. Yeah, it's a lot of them.
So they took all those texts out of the book, right? But unfortunately, those books still exist today. And if you find anything else,
Yes.
if one thing to know about those texts are those are not first century texts written at the time of the so-called events that were happening in those texts. Those texts were already perverted. The reason why they got rid of those texts is because they felt like it did not suit their clergy for Christendom. Like they wanted the book of Revelations removed, in which you now have in your book. And all of those are 4th century Christian texts that were removed. They wanted to, they came to an agreement all together on what Christendom was going to be. Now, all of the New Testament was written in Greek, so there is no cultural cohesion between the Aramaic text and the Greek text. You don't have it. It doesn't exist because you cannot superimpose, give you an example, the word virgin onto the Aramaic text. You can't do that. That word is alma, right, which means a young woman. So Isaiah chapter 7, where it says a young Alma will give birth, the New Testament called it a virgin. So they're two separate cultures trying to intercede with each other, not to mention that the culture would be considered Hellenized by the Judean people. So now you don't have the cultural cohesion or cohesiveness that's needed to give the correct examples of those things that Isaiah was saying, or any of the other wicked prophets that were in the Old Testament text. So what I want you to do is kind of like take a hard stance here. Is it our book or is it not? Because can you share my screen real quick, please? Because I want to address everything that he said. When I look on your page here, you have Bible study courses on your page, which I have no problem with, because as DeWanda Pickney said, you said that she said that we're going to use the Bible, but unfortunately you are placing people back in the text, and I am trying to take people out of the text to let them know that no man, no God, or no one is going to save you at all. We're only going to save ourselves when African people come together under African principle and begin to work together to build good economics for one
Damn,
another.
Kelly, you ain't gonna be saved then, because you're not African.
Yeah, we ain't African. So
We ain't African over here,
yeah,
bro.
we ain't doing
That's
that
yeah.
African shit over here.
Chris know where he at. Chris know where
Like,
he
I
at.
don't know. He's talking about the African.
Okay.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
cool.
get
Chris,
that.
Chris
Chris,
about to start a whole new.
Chris,
Chris about to
I don't
start a
see
whole
it.
new
I don't
fight.
see anything, Chris. I don't see
Oh,
anything.
come on now. Even the Chinese people say they descended in Africa. Everybody come from Africa. Cut it out.
Nah, everybody don't.
Chris, I don't see
The
anything,
Asian
Chris.
people
You
say
said
they're
You gotta
share the
take
descended in
that
screen.
Melville
Africa.
Herbert shit somewhere else.
Okay.
That's-
Go ahead, Minister. What's
I
going
don't
on?
see anything. You said share the screen.
Yeah. No. Yeah, let's share the screen here, because there's
Yeah.
going to be some things that I'm going to be addressing with him when he said Christianity never did anything to him. That's incorrect. Christianity did do something for you. All right. So
Okay,
here
I'm
it is.
sharing the screen.
Yeah. So here it is. You have on your page here. I just want to continue to do this here because I
Make
like
sure you
to
guys go
hold
subscribe and
people.
follow. I appreciate the plug.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Chris.
You have
Thanks, Chris.
literally have a lesson on here called the Good Book of Bible Study, right? And you called it a Bible study, so you do agree with the text, and it seems like you're kind of
I was
like
doing it
saying,
every Sunday. Bible studies every Sunday.
got you. And here you called the Bible the greatest story ever told. The Bible. You said it right there. And then you got into some of the occult, which I enjoy. Like Saint Peter is Satan. I like that kind of stuff. I ain't gonna lie. I love that kind of stuff. But here it is, you're representing the text over there on your channel, but over here you come across and you say, you kind of like play air on both sides of the fence. Now, the one thing I did want to talk about, want to bring up, is something else here. I don't know if you're familiar with Code Noir, in which the French were told how to treat enslaved people. This is called Code Noir, and this was in 1685, and this was based on Christendom, on how enslaved people were to be treated. Not to mention the papal bulls of 1493, or the Encyclica, which said it was okay to go into heathen lands and enslave everybody that were not Christians, and this is I think Pope Gregory in 1493, and it says right here, the Pope asserts rights to colonize, convert, and enslave. So whether you be indigenous, African, guess what? Both of us suffered under this goddamn text called the Bible, and you were wrong when you said that it never did anything to you personally, because if it never did anything to you personally as an indigenous person, Callie, DeWanda, my little sis, and Eli would not be reading the text, and we wouldn't even be speaking this language. So you're incorrect again.
What the fuck?
Chris like me, man. Like, what is going on, Chris?
Chris, where are you at, man? Reel it back in, man.
God, this is a personally, like,
you lost all of us.
I'm about to call the sexual assault line. This is sexual assault to me. I'm uncomfortable.
No,
shout out to my cousin.
I did not.
Shout out to my cousin checking in. Shout out to Ken Dog, man. I can do it all.
You need to be saying pause on that. I'm not.
No,
puffing.
I feel uncomfortable right now, bro. Like you just come and like you just got.
I mean, because you're up here. No,
What's
you just
going
be
on,
up.
bro?
You the minister of misinformation. That's why.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm finna go watch the
All right,
Pistons
Chris.
game.
Good night, brother. Have a good weekend.
I'm done here, man. Talking to Rissuto, guys. Peace out, man. Shout out to you Africans on
Come
board.
on, Chris. Come on, Chris.
He got in his feelings.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
right. It ain't that deep for me, man. So
yeah,
everything he just talked about, the 1493 Terra Convena and the King James version. I'll say this so we can move on. I highly advise you guys to go see what color those people were who were doing all that, those black ass Moors from Spain who were doing all that stuff. The Nino brothers, it was black people doing it. King James was black. House of Tudors. Go look up who the people were.
Boy, if you don't start with that from King James is not black. King James is not black, bro. Like you've been hanging out with them Israelites too long now. Come on,
Callie, I don't know if we're gonna get to it tonight, man. Dang.
No, we finna get. We gonna go. I'm gonna let him make this point.
I don't care what
I'm here though.
He ain't gonna be able to prove that. That shit already been debunked. Like that man ain't black.
I'm gonna let him make this. I'm gonna let him make this point, and then Eli will go into that before I end.
All right. So look, I want to show y'all something. King James, the Steward, was the first king of the United Kingdom. Let's look up what Steward means. This is why we gotta read. I'm not making this stuff up. I don't have time to make this stuff up, y'all. Steward. What does Steward mean? Yes, the word Steward comes from the Old Norse word which means black. What does Tudor mean? King James was this Tudor, Steward, King. Tudor means black. Watch this. Yes, black Tudors were people of African descent who lived in England during the Tudor period, 1485-1603.
Bro, don't try me like I'm stupid. Hold on. Let's stop right there. Let's back up right here before you even go too further. Hold on. Before you go any further. You said Steward, right? Since when does black represent a group of people of their nationality? We're just now starting to use the word black in modern. I get into it with you Indians all the time about that. Because when I say black, y'all be like, what's black? What represent black? That does not mean his skin was black. That could be some type of black, like could be darkness, shadow.
Look.
Dark skin.
How about this right here then? Swarthy.
Wait, but that's not the word you just looked up.
I'm going to show you that he was swarthy.
No. But the word you just used up is not swarthy. You just looked up Steward. Look up, go back, push back, just hit back.
The House of Steward.
Hit back. Steward. The House of Steward.
What does that? Why was that? That doesn't make them.
But that's him. He trying to play me like I'm dumb, bro. Not Steward. Now highlight. Now look up the word Steward. Stuart.
God damn,
bro. Like, bro, don't try me like I'm dumb, bro.
Look, the whole royal family. These are the black Europeans.
No, it don't say nothing about no black person. No, you're what color is it? No, it's the same, brother. You can't, hey, bro. Look, if you're gonna play games like that, you're gonna have to keep it real. You're trying to to put things together like a
What
piece
about
to
YouTube,
like
y'all? I did a whole live on this.
it's not anybody. The man ain't black. They already don't debunk that. We already went through that with the Israelites. So y'all taking pieces of what you trying to say, what certain words mean, just like when the Egyptians say,
Let's just read.
"Oh, black Egypt means black," and all that. Bro, that ain't got nothing to do with skin color.
Read for a second?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Let's just read. This is for the chat. Let's just read for a second. There are also other references to the word steward. His line, King James, also comes from the Old Nordish root svarv, because in that language, you are interchangeable, which means black, connotative, denotative. Steward is the same word as swarthy.
No, bro.
I'm done.
Now ain't no done. You making up shit, bro. You pulling that out your ass, bro. That's why I wanted you to go.
All right.
Yeah, he pulling that because that's why I wanted him to show like he looked up two different words. If you look up the etymology of where the word come from, we're just not using the word black as to define the color of somebody's skin in modern terms. But 2,000, 3,000 years ago, they did not use the word black. Black is a color, right?
Neo, the
yes,
etymology of the word black. 16th century, 1500s. Hold on. OHE, OHG, O High German, OEO English. What you're saying is correct. Prior to the word black in usage to the 16th century, they used words like swarthy, steward, Moorish, moreno. They use other words to describe dark-skinned people.
Egypt. They would use Egypt. Land of black sand, the color of the damn sand. That means black people too.
You're on a whole other continent.
No, I'm just saying you gotta keep it real. Because you know, black can mean shadow, black can mean darkness, black can mean black magic, wicked. You don't, that does not have nothing to do with skin color, and you know it, brother. You misleading the people.
All right. I want to get away from the Africa, the indigenous Africa topic right there, because we know we on two different. With that we on two different pages, definitely. Eli, you wanted to go into where we started at, and I got about 30 more minutes, and I'm gonna close this down. But I really enjoyed this conversation though. And I'm glad we got DeWanda up here, another female, to talk from this aspect too of why believers are forced to forgive pedophiles and child harmers and things like that. I'm gonna let you go, Eli. Crank it up. And I'm gonna let DeWanda. I'm gonna let DeWanda follow Eli after that, and then Neo. I want to hear these women's perspective, and then I'll bring it back to you, Minister. Go ahead, Eli.
Well, just keeping it back, bringing everybody back to where we were, and talking about this pedo thing. When you look at it from a scriptural perspective, as a Christian, those Christians would be required to forgive that person, and treat them accordingly. Forgiveness as it's thrown out the door. Now, I think I'm gonna say something a little controversial. Maybe this would be good to come back on a part 2 on.
Okay.
Because what I'm gonna say is, I think that people don't have a problem with forgiveness until it comes to something this taboo. As messing with children, because we might say, okay, I don't know, there could have been a domestic violence dispute. Maybe your sister got into it with her husband and there was a dispute, but you was like, I'm gonna kill that nigga, and then y'all probably squashed it later. You probably truly forgive him. That's your boy. But when it comes to this particular however you want to call it, sin,
situation,
shit is wrong. It's wrong. Yeah, when it comes to that, I think that's when because we don't really think about it. I remember preaching, and I remember one time when I was preaching, I was talking about how Jesus was on the cross for every sin. And then I remember saying to the congregation, he's even on that cross for that pedo person. And
That's
that's
right.
something
That,
that's
yep.
something that, I mean, you can't say he's not, because you said he's dying for the sins of the whole world. So that pedo person is in that group. That's a human
Wow.
being. They're in that
Now,
group. Yeah.
now, see, Eli. Here's where my problem. This is where my problem stands at, though, and I'm gonna let DeWanda go. This is where my problem stands at, right? So we'll go and we'll scream all this God stuff, and God forgives, and God this, and God that, and God this, and we'll throw out all these Bible verses of why we should forgive the pedophile, and let it, woo woo woo. But it if it came down to letting that pedophile stay at your house with your children while you had to go out of town, all of that Bible stuff goes out the window. All them scriptures go out the window. You know what I'm saying? We talk all that cool Bible stuff, as long as you're not at my house. As long as you ain't at my house with my children, God forgive you. You feel what I'm saying? God forgives you. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, that's just where I stand with that, man. DeWanda, you got it.
Good.
I think Eli was going to say something else.
No, go ahead, D. You just
Oh,
get here.
okay.
Go ahead. Sis.
Yeah, it just I forgot what what was said.
Well, basically, what I was saying was, Eli is showing that the Christians have to forgive.
Right.
The
That's what we
pedophile.
were. Okay, that's right. Okay, so yeah, by biblical standards of forgiveness, yes, they have to forgive. But the human side of them and their conscience really won't let them verbalize and say, "I forgive you." I mean, they'll verbalize and say, I forgive you," but in their heart of hearts, they want these people off the streets and unalive 6
Just
feet
like
under
we
just
do.
as much as we do, because especially when it comes to children and the elderly. But since we're talking about children in particular, especially the children, they may not say anything and may not voice it, and for the most part, they'll let God deal with it. That's the safety net. That's the safety net right there. Let God deal with him. God's gonna take care of him, deal with him or her or whoever. Because women are pedophiles. Some women are pedophiles too. We don't like to deal and talk about that either.
That's a whole other conversation right there.
A whole nother conversation right there. Yes. But their main thing is, I'll pray for you. And we all know that personal prayers is a cop out. We all know this. Because if 2 or 3 is gathered in his name, then how come we don't see any effective changes across the world?
Am I good, Neo?
You great. I just want to make sure your eyes see these these Europeans up here looking very vanilla and not African at all. The House of Stewart family tree, 1603 through 1714.
Well, Neo, it says orange. They're actually orange.
No. Read.
Orange is their name.
I'm
no.
with y'all.
Oh, I got it. That was a good one. I got it. Maybe they related to Trump since they orange. I got it.
I mean, but we do realize they change a lot of these photos and stuff so they can whitewash. There's a lot of whitewashing going on.
No, ma'am.
Yes, it is. Yes,
no,
it is.
ma'am.
It's a lot of whitewash. It's a lot of whitewash. It's a lot of whitewash.
No, look, respectfully,
Let
them have it.
Respectfully, sister, he tried to say because of the name and the name itself. He tried to say in the name, the names represent, it shows you what color he is, and that's not. It's looking like vanilla skies right here. So
they're all white. They're super smart. They the bee's knees.
All right, I'm gonna pull this down now because it kind of threw a monkey wrench in there.
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell.
Yeah, because we kind of.
But Neo can actually go ahead and go. I was pretty much done, but Neo can go if she like.
You got it, Neo.
All right. Let me see. You took the screen now, right? You stopped sharing.
You need it
down? Oh, nah. I was trying to make sure it took it down. All right.
I took it down.
But, all right, but yeah, I agree with Eli. At the end of the day, we know that the reason why some of these people believe that it's okay to forgive a pedophile or a murderer, which would happen in the case of the story of the monster that I sent sent Callie, because the scriptures literally teach them that God won't forgive them if they don't forgive other people. Right? So, or at least that's
is
the
it
way.
really forgiveness, Neo, though?
Well, the thing is, I like to keep it real because I actually study and I comprehend what it actually say. I understand the misteachings of it. The Bible, forgiveness is an action word, right? I can't forgive you unless you ask for forgiveness. It's like in the Bible, God only forgives people unless they ask for it. He doesn't automatically give them that grace. You have to come admit what you did or whatever. So sometimes people it's like a scare tactic. I feel like maybe people who probably was some narcissistic or some toxic ass people wrote that in the scripture so it can excuse evil people when they do evil shit. That's why you got things in there, turn the other cheek or love your enemy. But in the Old Testament, it used to teach you eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. Somebody kill one of your family members, you can go kill them. So
That's
you
good,
can see.
That's good. That's good,
point.
Neo. That's good.
Point.
So you can see how I say they add and take away stuff in the scripture just to follow whatever political things that was happening at that time. But they're coerced to believe that, hey, you're going to hell if I don't forgive my a family member that raped me, because I went through that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I remember I was like, fuck this shit. You better hope God I don't get your ass, bro.
Neo, I'm telling you, like, when I was watching them come at me, man, it just my thoughts just went straight to the church. Like, it really went straight to the church, man. And I say, guys, this is how the pastors are able to do this stuff. Like, this is how the pastors are able to do this stuff, man. And it just really broke my heart, man. This shit just really broke my heart. Cause I felt like, God damn, like, we going hard for this guy.
One of the most realest thing I ever said to a group of members in the church who believe in the Bible. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful and rude to them, but I got tired of them telling me that, my lifestyle was against God. So I said, I find it kind of funny that you guys believe in this Bible. You believe in your the prophets in your church and the word that the pastor say. It's funny how the Holy Spirit can always prophesy who's gay in the church or who's struggling with drugs, but they can't never seem to prophesy who the hell raping the little girl that y'all call her fast.
Come
on, what I'm saying?
Preach.
Yeah, I mean, how you call a little girl fast? The Holy Spirit never knows who to tell y'all who's raping her and why she's promiscuous now. You feel what I'm saying? Only thing she's fast. But never know the name of the rapist.
Is the one who doing it.
In certain cases, but in certain cases, but that's when I had to. Sometimes you have to, when they trying to use their religion to cause harm to you, especially psychological harm, right? I have to give it back to them like that. Well, the Holy Spirit never knows who the rapists are.
And Neo, this be the crazy part for me, man. It seems like when you watching all these scandals and stuff go on, they always do these scandals and everybody's hollering God's name. Like, everybody that's caught up in the scandal is screaming Jesus and God and quoting Bible scriptures. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When I hear people just really quoting them scriptures and stuff like that, man, them be the ones like they be on my radar. Like, them be the ones, man. Like, I had to be like, man, it just amazes me that all this crime and stuff go on and people hide behind God's name to do it.
Callie, what we just looked up today. The most atheist country have the lowest crime rate. How you explain that?
Yeah, I went and got those stats for you.
Yeah, can you share it to me?
Let me see.
How can they tell them to make that make sense?
I saw
the websites that I pulled.
I saw somebody put in the chat, this is why they're sick, because they don't believe in God, when most of the atheist countries are the less crime ridden.
I don't have it where I can send to you, but I can read it to y'all because this one just came from a simple search, and then I got another one from another source. And so, according to available data, the country is often considered to have the highest atheist populations. You got Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Netherlands, Japan, and a country called Uruguay. Those are the most atheistic countries.
Is the Czech Republic on there too?
It might be in the list. It just gave me like a top 5, but
Okay.
I was gonna go from there to say it gave me some percentages later. And you talking about some of these got some wide ranges, so I'll question them. This from Wikipedia, but it says Sweden is 46 to 85% atheist. Now to put that in perspective, America is less than 4% atheist. To put that in perspective. Norway, it could be 31 to 72%. And Uruguay, that country is the lowest on this list at 41.5% atheist. So damn near half the country or more is atheist. And they also report some of the lowest
That's
crime rate.
interesting. And have the lowest crime rate.
They
say that people are immoral. I literally have a guy who I'm challenging right now who's saying that the reason why black men in this country is fucked up because y'all don't believe in the Bible. And I said, brother, they do believe in the Bible. The problem is because they think they're gonna get away with the wicked shit they do because they think God is gonna forgive them. The Bible of man 77 times, right? If I commit murder, if I repent, I can still make it in, just like the man who killed his family twice. He literally believed that. But if he was in a religion that told him there was a consequence of, you get judged based off the actions you do, a murderer most likely ain't gonna get into a paradise. But you have a religion that telling them it doesn't matter what you do, just believe in this white Jesus, say you sorry, and you get in. Like, come on, that don't even make sense.
Look at Jeffrey Dahmer was one of the perfect examples.
Exactly, right. Good point.
And Church of Christ, and that was a point I bring up to the Church of Christ people because they don't even believe if you outside the Church of Christ, you going to heaven. And Jeffrey Dahmer, I was like, well, none of y'all can say that for Jeffrey because he had become a baptized member of the Church of Christ before he was killed.
And he said he did his killings because God told him to.
Whoa.
And that's something. I mean,
and the guy that killed him said he heard from God told him to kill Jeffrey Dahmer. So
yeah,
like the song, who's making love to my, who's zooming who? I mean,
Can I bring up a point right there?
Which one?
Yeah.
Which God?
Yeah.
Everybody saying God, like these people don't believe in the same person.
That's true too. That's true too.
Corinthians 4:4 says Satan, who is the God of this world. So
yes,
if they're of this world, of course their God is telling them to do crazy, demonic, insane stuff because that's who's God according to the scriptures. Satan is the God of this world.
So by that logic, that was, you say Acts 44, whatever the scripture was, it was Corinthians. So we a lot, we know that part of the scripture. But a lot of Christians don't believe that Satan is the God of this world because he took. I mean, anytime you can take Jesus up to the mountaintop and say, "I'll give you all of this if you bow down to me," that definitively says that this is my shit.
What he said specifically is that I'll give you all the kingdoms of earth that was given to me.
Right.
That's what he said.
That's this is my stuff, and I'm the owner, I'm the controller. I run this, but you can have it if you bow down, whatever he said to him. But I said all that to say this: it's his world. So if it's his world, and then that means he's the God of this world, so he's the God of the Bible.
Dun dun dun.
Hey man, listen. I need to give me some sound effects over here. I need to give me some sound effects.
Dun, dun. Listen. Here's what I teach on. I hate Chris left on my Sunday schools, and people who follow me know I take them to Revelation where it says that Christ Michael, that's his title. Christ Michael kicked Lucifer, and Lucifer's his name down here. In the heaven, his name is Caligastia, but Lucifer kicks Caligastia out of the heavenly realm, and he's banished to earth. The next question I ask Christians, because they agree with that, he got kicked out of heaven. he got banished to earth. I said, when he got to earth, what did earth look like? And they're like, what you mean? What was the state of earth? And they're like, go to Genesis chapter 1. That's
null and void.
And I said,
The
who was the
beginning.
light bearer? Right?
Mm.
So in Genesis chapter 2, the light was created. The sun don't get created to verse 16. There was no sun yet. So that's what I tell them. I said, just take a look at that. And then you go to Corinthians 4:4. Then you go to the point that he took Yahshua to the mountain and said, these kingdoms of earth. Then Yahshua also stated that I am not from here. I'm from above and you're from below. So there was a clear distinction who this belongs to. Here's what Christians teach real quick. Christians teach you to denounce Lucifer as your father and accept Christ as your new father, and you're reborn unto him, because everybody on earth, you're born into your father. Free will. You're born into your father, right? You can choose to follow him, or you can denounce him and then follow Christ, who is your new daddy now, or God, who is your new father, and then you're reborn unto him into the rightful way. So that's the whole thing. And this whole ideology with Christians, Muslims, and anything else, it's a real, what's the word I want to use? Dogma. Look up the word dogma. Dogmatic belief. It's what they say, what they believe, and nothing else can be persuaded. So
that's wild.
That was a good
So
point.
you know, when I hear that dog, when I hear dog, I hear, for all bark, no bite. that's how that's how I see them, like all bark, no bite. At the end of the day, that's how I see them.
So check this out. We had 3 hours and 15 minutes, man. So I'm gonna bring this to a close, but I'm gonna give you guys the last word before I go. On on the whether you want to talk about the original topic of the forgiveness of child harmers, or if you just want to give your last words on the book, period. Whatever you want to close out with, and just let everybody know where they can find you at. And we'll start with you. You want to start, DeWanda?
Yeah, I'm already up, I guess. I thank you for inviting me up. I really appreciate it. I have been binge watching literally MOI's videos for the last week or two, maybe. I think Callie introduced me to you a couple weeks ago. So I have been binge watching, and I really love your content. I do like the way you teach.
Thank you so much.
Based off your timeline, because it helps it helps to negate and push away any doubt of some things that's that people can actually go back and reference and look up. That way it resonates mainly with them, the information that you're giving them. But as far as the Neo, it's great to see you as well. And I'm not sure if I'm sub to your channel, but if you can let me know what it is, I'll definitely become a sub, if you don't mind. But anyway, to the topic itself, at the end of the day, I feel like, I came out of church, but my parents was pastors, and, and I was a drummer, minister music and all of that stuff and whatnot. And I seen a lot of, I grew up, I'm from New York, so I grew up and I seen a lot of things. I learned a lot of things from the church, and I'm not saying a lot of good things. I'm saying I've seen a lot of stuff that happened at a very, very young age that I should not have been privy to, that was going on in the church, which caused me to always question, why is God allowing these things to happen, especially to children? Because that's who I was. I was a child, so I was, my friends. So, a lot of molestation and rape goes on in the church. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand why and how people who claim that they see and speak and talk to this deity who grants them these things and takes care of them, but you can't see why or how children are getting molested or getting raped and getting beaten on and all these things right under your nose, right in your own homes.
Right.
And then to the fact of what Neo said, my sister, she's talked about this, all three of us, my sisters and I, we all been molested by the same nigga. He's dead now. Life took care of him. I'm gonna just put it that way. My sister ended up having a baby from him. And long story short, this was a very, very close family member, so-called family, like my godbrother, basically. And anyway, my parents are saved, my godmother's saved, and I never put the blame on them because they're human. So of course, they didn't know, and understanding that they wasn't really talking to a God or anything like that. But I always questioned how in the hell y'all can see and prophesy to everybody else's lives, but you can't see what's going on in your own home.
Facts.
God is not revealing any of this information to you guys, what's going on in your own home. And then when you get pregnant and you like Neo said, you're promiscuous and this, that, and the third, and you stealing. And my sister went that route. I went the street route. I was out there, you couldn't tell. I didn't care if I lived or died. I really didn't. I had no regard for my life or the next nigga life. I didn't care. And I was still in church, in the choir and everything else, speaking in tongues and shouting with the best of them. Because I felt that I knew it was all a game. It wasn't really real, because if God can allow this thing to happen in his own home, in his own church, there's nothing else I could do. It just baffled me, and I could not understand it. And I could never respect religion, especially our religions, or what was given to us. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Yo, respect to you, sis. Respect to you.
Wow.
Real talk.
I want to say this real quick, because I heard you said it, Callie, and Sister just said it also. When people refer to the church and the presence of God in the church, again, this is in the scriptures, Acts 17:24 and Acts 7:48. God does not dwell in the church. He does not reside in the church. He does not reside in the church. That's those drums and tamarines in that.
Well, we can't let you get away with that minister information.
They might
that's what that is.
Go ahead, get him, Eli. Get him.
It depends on who you're talking to. They may not have that understanding. That's one thing we always taught against in the Church of Christ. We taught that the church is the people. The church
exactly.
Is that by the word ecclesia. When we
did y'all hear what I said?
Talk about that another time. I ain't gonna get into nothing.
I agree.
Hold
on. Let's
I
heard
what you said.
I said the Spirit of God does not dwell in the church.
Right. Yeah. I was like, depending on who you're talking to, I get your point. Yeah. But I'm saying, to the others of us, like the Churches of Christ, that's what I was a part of. They would agree with you, but when you say it that way, you have to kind of put that nuance on it so they understand what you're saying. Because they would say, well, I'm in the church, so God got to be in the church. And, so yes, he is in the people according to the text when you read it that way. But if you're a believer or whomever and you hear this, I'm just putting other nuance on what the minister is saying, that the it's not in the building, okay? It's not in the bricks and mortar. That's what you're saying, right? It's not in the bricks and mortar. It's not in something you make with your hands.
I'm just reciting Acts 17:24. God does not live in the temple. Right. Acts 7:48. The Most High God, who made the world and the heavens, does not reside in the temple, or we call it church.
Let me just put back on that a little bit. I'm glad you used the word temple, because the Bible say that your body is the temple. And just to tip off of what Eli said, the Bible teach that a person's faith is what the church is, not a building. But I also
Jesus said to Peter, "On this I'll build my church." Jesus didn't have a faith. He had Peter. Peter
was upon this rock, right? He called Peter the rock. Upon this rock, the church, where he built. It was based off his faith, because Peter had the revelation that he was the Christ. And he said he got it from the heavens above, the Father. Yeah, I know it. Right. That's why I said I wanted to touch on. But I also want to remind the people. I also want to remind the people of this, that you see how minister. Well, I'm no further. This is serious right now. I want y'all to see how the minister of information tried to kind of low key romanticize by saying, "Well, got to remember, people, God don't dwell in the buildings in the house. That's not the church." Right. I want to remind people that the scriptures also say that when a person believes in Christ, they become a new creature. They become something new. But that simply is not true. Because the first man who taught me who Jesus was the man who sexually assaulted me when I was 15. He wasn't even the rapist, right? At 4. The one who sexually assaulted me when I was 15 years old was the first person to teach me who Jesus was, right? So that believing in Christ did not transform these people. They do not become a new creation. They still who they are. It's either they good morally or they wicked as hell morally. They only believe for fire insurance. Because if that man really had the fear of God in him, he should have known that it was not good for him to try to stick his hands down my pants and introduce me to sex when I was 15. These people do not become a new creation. But the Bible says they do if they believe onto Christ. So it's bullshit. I see it for what it is.
Neo. Come on,
so
Neo.
Not romanticize it at all. I know you, and I get it. Like Minister Information, I'm not judging you. I'm sure you have your reasons why you subscribe. You have hidden knowledge, being that you're a Mason, that I'm not privileged to. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
But I know he had to catch.
17:24.
I feel you, but I had. But I couldn't let you get away with it because it's like you was trying to put out to the people. Well, y'all remember it's the church. You know, God, you ain't gonna find God in the church, so the assembly of people. I just want to remind people that the Bible actually say the church is their faith, and that the Bible says if a person believes in Christ, they are a new creation. They're transformed. All things made new. Eli, you know the scripture. All things made new. They become a new creature. No, the hell they don't. They be the most wickedest people walking this earth. How can a man of God, the one who taught me Jesus, who was in a position of power in church, I think he was like a bishop or a deacon, set up there and was trying to sexually assault me, and I was a relative. And on top of that, I'm related to the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
some sick shit, bro.
That's nasty.
These people, that shit do not, they only believe in that because they don't want to go to hell. Simple
While
as
I got y'all here, let me ask this question. How do we know what's an allegory and what's not in that book?
That's what
you gotta discern the Holy Spirit, brother.
Well, you got what? You
got to prove that the Holy Spirit is it.
Shit, I don't even know what a Holy Spirit is, brother. Like I
want y'all to understand something right now.
I don't know what a Holy Spirit is.
I want y'all to understand something right now.
Minister, how about
the word of God is getting pushed on these airways, regardless of demons or not. It's getting pushed right now.
I should do my lesson about, the God of the Old Testament might be a dragon. I should do that.
Amen, church. Amen.
Y'all, you let in. He let in with that video, and I was gonna ask him about where he was on that. But the Holy Spirit is no more than the trivium, ain't it, Minister?
The trivium? I don't understand what was the trivium.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
You'll go back a few degrees and pick that up.
Oh, see, you see, they talking that stuff we don't know. But Callie, answer your question. How do you know?
No.
He'll
go back and pick it up. I'm saying that, critical thinking. It's no secret. It's critical thinking. But anyway, but I wanted to get You know what?
Let me answer.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
Oh,
go ahead, Neil.
I was going to just answer. You said, "How do we know what are the allegories and the parables and stuff?" It's the same way how we digest the story Three Little Pigs. We know pigs cannot build houses, right? We know wolves cannot huff and puff and blow houses down. We know wolves don't talk, pigs don't talk. So you look at the story, like for example, Adam and Eve. We know snakes do not talk. You know what I'm saying? So you can probably chuck it up of what you see in reality versus what is possible, right? That's really how you can look at it. And then I think the realest thing I heard a white dude say a few days ago, I was on Instagram. He said, "How do you know that the story of Adam and Eve was told wrong, that Adam actually ate from the fruit and that he lied on Eve, and that's the reason why men have Adam's apples?" That shit was like the I was like, you know what, these niggas are here lying. You feel what I'm saying? Trying to lie so they can, oppress women, But I thought that was real, But I mean, of course, like I said, an allegory. We don't know. So, but we know pigs don't talk, snakes don't talk. I mean, that's pretty much a good tip, a rule of thumb you should go by.
I got you. Eli, go ahead and let them know where they can find you at and give your last words too.
Just want to say peace to the family again. Thank y'all for having me, and I hope we come back for another one. And if y'all are able on Saturday 9 a.m., myself and then Dewana probably join me. We be doing that Wake and Bake podcast, and we're gonna talk about Denzel getting baptized and some of the things that's been going on this week. The New York subway fire and person being set on fire. We're gonna talk about some of this stuff, but we do this over a friendly atmosphere of a little greenery. You know, you do whatever you do, and we do it like that on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. And we talk about the hot topics, and we'll drop the link if you want to come on, and you can support us in that way just by liking and subscribe. The Voice of Eli is my YouTube channel, so y'all can check that out. And peace to the family.
Dope. Neo X, you got it.
Yeah, mine's is gonna be real quick. I know someone, two people asked me in the chat where you could find me. You can just search my name, Neo X. The name of my channel is called Scary Matrix because we definitely live in the scary matrix. I'm convinced we in a simulation versus is the Bible true, but that's a whole nother topic. But I definitely want to say this when it comes down to religion. Like I spoke earlier, I am an omnist, right? I believe that all religions are true, but not to be taken literally. Right. I believe that every religion, every God, every concept of God is something that is downloaded into our consciousness to express our human nature. And as science advances, we get rid of these gods as we go. I feel like it's a part of evolution if you believe in evolution. Right. So why we have these religions, why we believe in God, because it's natural for us to believe in God. But I'm going to leave you with this, though. Look at this. Look at religion like this. Religion is just a diet that certain people choose to partake in. I feel like whatever works for you, you should stick with that diet if it's beneficial. But do not shame other people if they find no benefits in that diet. For instance, when I practice Christianity, it caused temporary psychosis in me. But I know a man who literally told me the reason why he don't rape women and chop off people's head is because he believes in Jesus. So I told that nigga, please, I need you to believe in Jesus until the day you die. So
Always. Yeah, you
like,
keep Jesus. Keep Jesus with you, sir.
Yeah, so I told him I need you to believe in Jesus, but for myself,
Yes.
it caused temporary psychosis because my brain could not fathom or accept the concept of hell because in my mind it was unjust, it wasn't right, and it was not fair, right? So my brain just simply cannot handle the thought of people going to hell. So I rejected it. My consciousness rejected it. But that's all religion is. I don't have a better God to give you. We all trying to figure it out. Because if you take a look, all these gods function the same. They all invisible. And depending on what country you live in, your God looks like the people that live in that damn country.
That's right.
You know, and you have no say so if you're gonna be a Buddhist or Hindu or folk African religion or a Christian, because it's based off where the hell you born. So just trust in your purpose, trust in your destiny, and just be patient with people. That's your diet. If Jesus worked for you, stick with Jesus. But if it ain't working for your neighbor, leave that neighbor the hell alone. Because you cannot prove your God is real. You believe for faith. It's called faith. And we know that majority of y'all only believe for fire insurance. And I'm out.
All right, Neo X. My brother, the minister of information, man. You got the floor,
Hey,
man.
Listen, y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all. Always a pleasure, man, to come and build with you guys. If you guys subscribe to my channel, go over there and check it out. I think I really think I have to go back and watch my videos. I always begin by saying that don't believe me. That's what I always say. I think Callie, you hear me say that all the time.
Yeah,
I always say, don't believe a word I say. So don't believe a word I say, period. Just stop. Don't believe me. This is just my portion of understanding. Please do your own research, is what I say. This is what I sit here and do most of on the weekends, is read and study, and this is what conclusion I come to, right? I don't subscribe or prescribe to any organization. I went through all the schools of thought, TOHT, and I was in search of information. So yes, I went through the Masonic school. Yes, I went through the Moorish Science Temple. Yet, like literally ran and established temples. I've seen both good, bad, and ugly. I've sided in church. I've sided in the masjid. I sided with the Hebrew Israelites. But I did all that to the Neo's point is to have conversations with these brothers and sisters to have an understanding. So I'm not an outside looking in. Because it's easy to stand on the outside of the church and look, oh man, they jacked up in there until you go in there and sit down and see what they're doing. There's some crazy stuff going on in there, some nonsense going on there, and some good stuff going on. Some good people in there too. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I wish we had an opportunity to really dive in to the dialogue because as Neo shared her story, and Sister, thank you for being so transparent along with Sister Wanda as well. Thank y'all for sharing y'all story. I've never been in that position, and I have daughters, and I'm gonna say this: I pray to God or whatever energy that nobody touches my children, because it's somebody gonna be dead, somebody gonna be in jail. I'm gonna be in jail. If that ever happens to my children and I find out, I don't see myself ever forgiving. That's an unforgivable mark against anybody. Forgetting or forgiving, right? You're taking something away that was not even, you're just perverting children. I don't agree to it. I don't subscribe to it. Is there stuff in the scriptures that speak on young ladies intermingling with yeah, I told y'all before, Mary was like 13 to 14. Some people say 12 when Joseph got with her, but that was the practice of that particular group in that particular time. I do believe, this is what I believe, right? It's just a belief. I do believe that there is a demonic energy. Look up sirens and what's another one? It's several other things out there that I got into studying. Like, damn, this is crazy, and trying to understand the psychology of why older men, like they even trying to pass a law down where.
Yep, they're trying to change the age. Yep.
Well, these YT people are crazy, man.
Yeah.
And I'm about to land my
Lower the
plane.
age.
Thankfully, I saw a post today with President Trump is about to pass legislation that anybody that sex traffic, not necessarily with SA, not yet, but anybody that sex traffic, he's seeking the death penalty for them off the rip. Hopefully that gets passed and we go to the next level with anybody that sexually assault anybody. I think in Texas, they're talking about chopping something off down there. So there's definitely legislation being pushed around America that people are taking it serious. It needs to be taken serious. If anybody's out there that's uncomfortable with sharing, or you're in a situation right now, please reach out and seek help. This is a serious matter. And I really, really hate that we got off. I've been missing on social media. I've been missing about the past 2-3 months. I guess everybody's happy to see me. I don't know what it was, but definitely. Thank you for the opportunity to come on the platform. Good brother Eli, I'm gonna try to tap in Saturday morning with you guys and check you guys out and support you. Sister Neo, to you, from the last time I heard you talk, sister, you sound way, way, way more. I don't know the word. Like I'm feeling like a proud parent right now. Sister,
Neo
you sound
on her
amazing.
Hey, I sound like Sister Soldier.
On some real shit. Like that energy you bring in your articulation is sharpened from last time I heard you talk.
Yeah, I'm getting better, man. I'm working with Chris. I ain't even gonna lie. Chris is like mentoring me.
You've been studying, you've been in your word. To the brother Chris, if you watch this later, my first time, I think, talking to Chris other than on the phone. Very, 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 very smart brother. And thank you, family, because as family members, sometimes we got to correct our own. And I appreciate that. And I apologize again for coming in with that energy. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do. I love it. So thank you again, man. Thanks for the opportunity, man. Thank everybody on the platform. Subscribe to MOI on YouTube. Continue to support this brother, Chief Khaled, man. Brother's very passionate about what he do, man. Thank you again, bro.
Man, thank you guys. Thank you all for joining the panel tonight. I'm
sorry, Cal. I just want to say something to the sister Duwanda. I don't know if she saw me, but I was sending her the heart emoji. But thank you, sister.
I did. My sister came out here disturbing my peace, and been talking to her for the last 10 minutes, getting on my nerves.
No, you good. I just wanted to let you know I appreciate you being transparent,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
being afraid to tell your story, because when we be sometimes in a male dominant area, it does kind of low key make them uncomfortable, and then they try to weaponize it because they do that to me. I have men who literally tell me it didn't happen to me, right?
Wow.
Like
I appreciate that.
So, but I appreciate you being transparent because it's wild, sis, that this happens more common than people want to acknowledge. Every sister that I've been on a live with came out. Even Amora just told us she was molested. So this is how cool. I mean, it's wild. But shout out to the fathers who are there in their children's life. Just know that these men, they know who to target now. They know how to look for them. But when they know the father around, they tend to back off. So to the men out there, just make sure y'all keep a good eye on your daughters, have a good relationship with your daughters, and just keep them safe, because the little girls need their daddies. So, and unfortunately,
Yes, they do.
My situation, I didn't have the protection. So,
Mm.
And as I end this off, as my sister said, this happens in our community more often than we know. A lot of times, our daughters, our nieces, our little cousins, and even some of our little boys don't have the voice to speak up for whatever reason when they are harmed. Um, and this is why I'm so passionate in my position on where I stand with protecting the children. I don't allow child harmers in my space. I don't allow them, so as I said before, when I was in that other space, I had to self-check myself, because I can't make everybody feel what I feel about child harmers. I can't make them feel the outrage or the disgust that I feel when they come around or when they're in our communities. Because the innocence of somebody was taken. When you take somebody's innocence, and for somebody to tell me he's done his time already, and you took somebody's innocence, not only did you take their innocence, you disrupted their body to the point of an examiner having to say their hymen was not intact, especially when it's a little girl and you're a grown man. I can't. Ugh. So I had to self-check myself when I was in those spaces and remove myself from those spaces, because I know I would be triggered. And because I understood, I have Christians in here, believers in here, who's giving this guy a pass, and they're rocking, out with him because of their religions. And I had to self-check myself, just remove myself and say, hey, I can't make people feel what I want them to feel about child harmers and stuff like that. But as I said before, when I go to my grave, I'm gonna know I went to my grave with honor, and I'm gonna know that I went to my grave speaking up, and standing in my position, even when I was outnumbered, even when people didn't agree with me. I stood on what I believe in, and I don't believe in children being harmed. I don't give them no pass. I don't like them in my space, and yes, I think they should be off social media. You know, because this is a playground for predators. And this is something me, Neo X, Queen's Throne, this is what you see us going at. Y'all been seeing us go at this with the conscious community and everything that's going on over there with the conscious community, and how they're disrespecting the women and the children, and to the point that they're creating cults and stuff, and they're continuously harming our children. And like I said, I'll go to my grave, um, I'll go to my grave with honor, knowing that I spoke up, and I'll go to war with anybody right now that want to come for me, because I did stand up for these children. You feel what I'm saying? So the way I feel, I don't need a religion to show me how to be a good human being in the world. You know, I don't need to look for no God outside of me, outside, you know, some invisible, you know, whatever outside, when I know and I can prove what I do. You know what I'm saying? I look inside of me and I make things happen in the world. So with that being said, I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good night, man, and we'll do this again. Thank you for joining the panel, everybody.
You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything
Some
I'm
people open up
reflecting
their
in.
eyes and see the world they know outside. I can close my eyes and see all that and way beyond. When these trials of life come heavy and these obstacles get hard, feeling like I need some answers, I just go and talk to God. I just go and talk to God when I'm looking for guidance. Need more insight, need vision, need direction when I'm blinded. Then I start that conversation with that voice I hear inside me. And the conversation starts with a voice inside that sounds just like me when I talk to God. 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 When I talk to God.
See God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in.
My daddy said don't ever assume, ask questions. It's ironic it was that advice that helped this song happen. It was also that advice that led me to my life's blessings. That same advice helped me make it through life's lessons. It was that advice that separates grown-ups away from children. That advice can be the difference from knowing or just believing. It was that advice that brought the gavel down on my decision of breaking the mental chains of these man-created religions. It's faith and belief, nonsense, the biggest scam ever. I hate to say it, I swear this one hell of a mental illness. We don't believe no other time. Why we do it with these religions? A fact that COVID's killing while all of these guys is missing. A lot of hide and seek and peekaboos. Guys playing games with you. I'ma just assume he ain't got no COVID miracles. Maybe he ran out after making the donkey talk, or them stories about a guy moonwalking on water tides. This is simply a distraction to keep you away from you and to look outside for a God when the God is inside of you. When you close your eyes at night to pray to that voice you talking to, when you ready to face the truth, you realize that that voice is you.
You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in.
Dirty South, Southeast, Midwest, my piece, up top, down deep, East Coast, Northeast, copper skin, gold teeth, good green, good eats, cornrows, roll neat, big mama, big chief, still here, ain't gone, told lies, lied on, done dirty, done wrong, Jim Crow shit, niggas ain't fold, our land, our home, leave where, ain't going, big bricks, up north, down south, red soil, real tears, real fears, cards stacked, cards hid, games played, snakes near, COINTELPRO Pro leaders got killed, shotguns, big house, red clay, big mounds, cornbread, being fed, red bones, dark browns. This is for the tribes I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' land stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes that I know, copper tone strong, all my folks, prisoners of war, identity, change name, gon' land stone. This is for the home of the brave, this is for the land of the free, this is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me. Landlords, big and small, Seminoles, Chickasaws, Choctaws, Cherokees, all tribes in between. His story been wrong, our story getting told. No ships, no boats, been here,
been home. TPs didn't own, out west didn't roam. Fried bread, hell no. Soul food, that's gold. Raw truths unfold. Our story rewrote. Our land, our home. Leave where? Ain't going. This is for the tribes I know. Copper tone strong, all my folks. Prisoners of war, identity change, name gone, let's go. This is for the home of the brave. This is for the land of the free. This is for them real Indians, past to the present looking like me. This is for the tribes I know. Copper tone strong, all my folks. Prisoners of war, identity change, name gone, let's go. This is for the home of the brave. This is for the land of the free. This is for them real landlords, past to the present looking like me.